Thursday Night Football brings us to Lambeau Field in Green Bay, the home to the Packers for the 56th year, and this is the 300th regular season game at this revered stadium. Who better as an opponent than your oldest rival? The Bears and the Packers. This is the 185th time they've gotten together over 91 years. Welcome, everybody, to Lambeau Field. I'm Brad Nessler with Mike Mayock. This one goes back a long time. They started in 1921. The last 4 games have gone to the Packers, Mike, but when we talked to Lovie Smith last night, he said, I think this is maybe the best team we brought to Lambeau.
Yeah, but keep in mind, Jay Cutler is 0-2 as a Chicago Bear at Lambeau. His numbers are horrific. 51% completions, 1 touchdown against 6 interceptions. He's been sacked 8 times, but Brad, there really is reason for optimism. Tailback Michael Bush will help the run game. Second-round pick Alshon Jeffrey, vertical threat out wide. But bottom line, it's all about Brandon Marshall and Jay Cutler. 15 targets a week ago, 9 catches. But it goes beyond that. It's about trust. It's about security. Maybe we could call him Jay Cutler's whoopee. But I guarantee you, when he gets one-on-one coverage, Jay's going to throw it at him.
Right now, already Chicago's got a 1-game lead over Green Bay. The Packers have lost as many regular season games as they did all of last year. There's a lot of folks getting ready to jump in the Fox River over this. It might not be must-win in week 2, but it's better win, I think.
I've been telling everybody in Green Bay all week, calm down. Okay, you lost to one of the best football teams in the league in San Francisco, who's also one of the most physical. Offensively, you've got one of the best players in the league in Aaron Rodgers and a plethora of receivers and running backs. Got to get the run game going a little bit. Defensively, Clay Matthews is the only guy that can get to the quarterback. The key to this football game is that some other guys get involved. Number 53, their first-round pick, Nick Purry, has got to get pressure on the quarterback. It can't all be about Clay Matthews.
Chicago won the toss and deferred. Green Bay will get the ball first. Tonight's game available in HD and SAP. Our first of 13 Thursday night football games on NFL Network. Mike McCarthy in his 7th season. Of course, the Super Bowl title 2 years ago. Lovie Smith in his 9th year, the 2nd longest tenured coach in the NFC. Only George Halas and Mike Ditka have won more games as the head man of the Bears. Randall Cobb, so dangerous. A punt return for a touchdown last week. He's got 3 already in his 2nd year. He's going to get a touch here, 5 yards deep. And boy, did he get cartwheeled out past the 15-yard line. Big hit by Sherrick McManus on the special teams. So out come the Packers, led by Aaron Rodgers. The reigning most valuable player in the league. This is the guys in front of him, including Jeff Saturday, the new center, after all those years in Indianapolis with Peyton Manning. Cedric Benson, a new addition, too. They've got to get their ground game going. There's the receivers, Jones, Nelson, Cobb, and Finley. So the Packers have to start from their own 17-yard line.
And Brad, look where Benson is. He's dotting the I where he's most comfortable.
319! 319!
He'll get the first carry. Got 2, and that's about what he averaged last week against the 49ers. The Bears defensively. So we take a look at their front 4. Julius Peppers, Lovie Smith says he's the best defensive player in the NFL. He'll be all over that front line tonight. Brian Urlacher playing on a bad knee. Lance Briggs, 7 straight Pro Bowls. And there's the back end, Jennings, who had 2 interceptions a week ago. The Packers go with no huddle, and they'll go back to Cedric Benson. And this time a decent gain as he got it out close to the first down. He's going to be about 1.5 yards shy after picking up 6.
And Brad, what was our conversation with Mike McCarthy about the run game the other day? It was 9 carries for 18 yards. He blamed himself for getting out of the run game too early. And I think what you're seeing here is 2 things. Number 1, Benson where he's most comfortable, 7 yards deep. And number 2, they're going to commit to the run game tonight.
Aaron Rodgers in the gun on 3rd down. And a short 2. And he'll throw for it. And he zips to Jordy Nelson, and it's broken up. Nelson was looking for a pass interference call on Tim Jennings and didn't get it. So it's 3 and out for Green Bay.
Tim Jennings, for me, got a game ball last week against Indianapolis. did a great job here on the slant, comes over the top, strips the football. Last week he had 2 interceptions. Now you got to fight to get back underneath, and actually Jordy Nelson should have caught the football.
Devin Hester has 12 career punt returns for touchdowns. Matt say, wow, did he hit this a mile and a mile high as well, and Hester's got to take a late fair catch. Great punt, 56 yards. And it pins the Bears likewise inside their own 20. Good job by the Green Bay punter. Chicago with Jay Cutler coming out. And here's how it looks up front for him. Jamarcus Webb will be a busy guy with Clay Matthews tonight. The backs and receivers. Some great backs. Not only Matt Forte, but also the new addition in Michael Bush. And there's a receiving core, probably the best that Chicago's ever seen. At the 18-yard line, first snap for the Bears offense. Last week, Jay Cutler, 333 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Play action on the first play, and he gets pressure, and down he goes inside the 5. DJ Smith, the linebacker.
Exactly the same way they started a week ago against Indianapolis. DJ Smith is going to come right up the gut. Max protection. Webb steps out. Play action. It's missed. The block is missed by Forte. Cutler is sacked. This is max protection. What Matt Forte did wrong there is he turned his body. He's got to stay square to DJ Smith and get his helmet and make a block.
It was max, but it wasn't max enough. Second down at 23. Back inside the 5. Now if Cutler throws, he'll be in his own end zone. He'll keep it on the ground. Forte trying to weave his way to get some of that back. And he got it out for 4 yards. Green Bay's defense much maligned a year ago because of all the yardage they gave up, especially through the air, an NFL record. In fact, already they've gotten some pressure. Worthy starting in there for Smith tonight. Hawk, Smith, Matthews, and Perry, the #1 draft choice. The linebackers on the back end. Sam Shields starting at one corner, and Charles Woodson, the 15-year veteran, has moved this year to safety. Third down and a whole bunch, Mike.
Matthews is the guy that can get pressure, but the one they really need is Nick Perry.
Jay Cutler in the gun. They're going to play it safe here. Forte on a quick opening draw. Got it back to the 16, still shy of the original line of scrimmage. And Chicago will have to turn around and punt it right back to Green Bay.
That is almost the identical start that Chicago had a week ago against Indy. First series, they were horrific with a sack. Second series, Cutler threw the interception, but after that, their offense got in rhythm.
Randall Cobb had a punt return for a touchdown last year against Minnesota. He had one last week, as you saw there in the season opener. He stands back near his own 35-yard line as Podlish will punt near the 5. Not as good a kick as his Green Bay counterpart, but it takes a great roll and hit. And a pileup. Sam Shields is down there.
That ball hit Shields.
And now this is what the Bears and Packers have done for 90 years.
The way they describe it, and several coaches said it to me on the field, is you play to the second whistle here, Neff.
Here's another look. And there's Shields going right back to the ball after it hit him. Green Bay on offense when we come back. Night Football is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by KFC. Come in today and taste why fresh is better. So as the exchange punts, Green Bay comes out on the better end of it. The Packers will start now from their own 29-yard line. Aaron Rodgers, reigning most valuable player. Those numbers may never be duplicated. The Packer fans think they can be.
Tom Brady had a year a little while ago. I think he went like 36-4. But those kind of numbers are crazy. And in my lifetime, Ness, I don't ever expect to see that again.
Jermichael Finley, the tight end, goes out in a slot. The other tight end, Crabtree, in the backfield. On first down, play action for Rodgers. Fires and gets it in there to Finley. And Finley's got it out to the 45-yard line. And that's good enough for a first down. And again, the Packers going without a huddle.
Finley did a great job working away from Roach, who initially had the coverage. Rogers gave him time to uncover, and the offensive line did the rest.
Here's a stretch play to Cedric Benson, and this one's not going anywhere. Maybe a yard as we check in third member of our team, Alex Flanagan. Alex.
Hey, Brad, well, you're seeing Mike McCarthy's early commitment to the run game. It was something that he talked about all week long leading into this game. He only had 2 players carry the ball against the San Francisco 49ers. One was Aaron Rodgers, the leading rusher, and then Cedric Benson, only 18 yards in that game, was more disappointed about his 2-yard average for yards per carry. They're looking to increase that significantly tonight, Brad.
You just don't ever want your quarterback being your leading rusher, and Aaron Rodgers too often has had to be. Pulls this one out of Cedric Benson, and goes to Jordy Nelson. Down to the 32-yard line. They're going to spot it closer to the 34, but a first down.
Now you talk about finding holes in zone defenses. Here's Jordy Nelson. He's going to get a little bump here and come over top and settle down right in the middle of the field. Play action. Tillman lets him go. The linebacker gets sucked up, and that's an easy read and an easy throw for the All-Pro Aaron Rodgers.
A pickup of 21 to Jordy Nelson, his favorite receiver a year ago. Randall Cobb in there now, as is DJ Williams set in the backfield. And here's Cobb spinning his way inside the 30. A flag is down. We might have a holding call in the backfield. But this shows how often and how many spots we're going to see number 18, except maybe we won't. He comes out kind of hanging his left arm. Randall Cobb, the second-year pro out of Kentucky.
Number 70 offense, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, replay first down.
Yeah, I saw 2 holds on that play. Both the left guard Lang and the left tackle Newhouse, both were holding. And you can see Newhouse here and Lang here. I think they both were holding. Lang on the inside, there's the hold. And look at Newhouse. He's not going to let Peppers get involved either. More importantly is as Cobb finishes that run right here. Not a big guy, drops his pad level. If they lose him on top of losing Greg Jennings, that is catastrophic.
It is. He's trying to work it out over there on the sideline, and the trainer's trying to help him. So Cobb out right now on a first down as they back it up with the penalty. 1st and 20. Greg Jennings can only look on tonight. Groin injury suffered last week in the opener against the 49ers. They kept out hope really up until today. Yesterday he didn't work out. He was in uniform at practice, but didn't do anything, and inactive tonight. Rodgers draw play. Cedric Benson gets inside the 40 to the 39. Brian Urlacher is there to meet him. Familiar number 54. Not the guy of 5 years ago, but still a guy that maybe doesn't go sideline to sideline like he used to, but he can fill a gap and he can make a tackle.
And Brad, I watched every snap that he played last week on the coach's tape, and you know, he's been in this league for 13 years now. I don't know anything about his knee, but at some point attrition takes over. He's nowhere near as quick as he used to be, but boy is he a solid football player.
2nd and 16. Rodgers in trouble, and down he goes way back by midfield. Shea McClellan, the rookie out of Boise State, a loss of 9.
Lot of criticism in Chicago after this pick. Now against the left tackle, bang, right here. Watch the first-round pick, McClellan. He's a speed guy that can bend. He gets underneath Newhouse, and that's a one-on-one situation where he wins. Aaron Rodgers can't get out, and what they're doing is kicking Julius Peppers inside and giving Shea McClellan a one-on-one with the left tackle.
They've got to get all the way down to the 23-yard line for a first down. And Rodgers has it batted in the air, and now he'll cover it. Wow, that was a disastrous offensive series for Green Bay. Started with a holding call.
Yeah, for one of the most well-oiled offensive machines in the league, a holding call, bang, the ball slips out of his hands. He does a nice job of making sure he goes and covers it. He wants Finley. Ball just slides out.
That happens sometimes. Matsay had a great punt the first time. As you look behind him, he'll try to pin this one inside the 10. Devin Hester's back there for Chicago. It goes out of bounds. Not what he was looking for inside the 20, but that's about all you can say for it. Jay Cutler, Aaron Rodgers dueling it out. Jay will get his turn when we come back. Rodgers trying to warm up on the sideline. That last play when he went down, watch the very end. First of all, he's trying to avoid the Bears. Watch his right hand. It basically gets caught under his own face mask at the very end, and his thumb and hand got kind of crumpled up in that pile. He came out trying to shake it off. We'll keep our eye on that. Meanwhile, here's Cutler to throw, and he had it batted down and almost intercepted by Charles Woodson. Clay Matthews got a hand on it. This one has not started offensively like either team had hoped for.
You know, Kellen Davis is going to cross the face of Matthews. He recognizes misdirection, elevates, knocks the football down, and it's almost picked off. And I got to tell you, Brad, this guy impacts the football game in so many ways. He's not just a pass rusher. He plays with great leverage against the run. And he's one of the best 4 or 5 defensive players in the game.
He's back on that right side this year with Perry, the #1 draft choice, on the left side. Here's Forte trying to get the ground game going for Chicago. And he got 5 out to the 22. B.J. Raji in on the stop. So a 3rd down and shorter. We've had 3rd down and long on both sides.
We promised all this offense tonight, and so far it's been pretty ugly offensively. Green Bay's now going in their nickel and dime package here, and there's some different people. Casey Hayward, the rookie 2nd-round pick from Vanderbilt's in the game.
Midway point of the quarter, no score. And 3rd down and a long 4 for Jay Cutler and the Bears. And Cutler just throws it in the dirt with a flag down.
Delay offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
I think Jay wanted it earlier and didn't get it.
He's screaming, the leg comes up. Give it to me, give it to me. Up, too late.
Garza was busy making his calls at center, and he wasn't paying attention to his quarterback, or didn't have time to. The Bears with a new coordinator offensively, Mike Tice, former head coach of the Vikings. He likes to protect the quarterback, run the football, and then get it down the field. They haven't been able to do much of that so far tonight.
And it's a different playbook at 3rd and 9 than 3rd and 4.
Cutler waits, finally goes over the middle. Forte's looking for a holding call on DJ Smith and didn't get it. Chicago's got to give it up.
You know, DJ Smith, the 2nd-year player from Appalachian State, did a really good job walling off. Watch him to the left of your screen. He sees the running back. Now he gets his hands on him. Is that a hold? Probably, but he got the hands off quickly and undercut the route.
Chicago will kick inside its own 10 again. Never had one blocked, never had one returned for a touchdown. Cobb's a guy that can do that to you, but not this time. Fair catch at the 34-yard line. Neither team able to get anything going so far. You can wake up with NFL AM, the only morning show dedicated to the NFL. Tomorrow we'll have a complete wrap-up of our game tonight, including highlights and interviews with all key players and coaches. We'll also have reports with the latest news from the big Sunday matchups. NFL AM, Monday through Friday. It's 6 a.m. Eastern only on NFL Network. As you can see, Aaron Rodgers is back out there. 4 total series in the game. 3 have been 3 and outs so far.
319!
The give, Cedric Benson. Nice run this time across the 41-yard line. And Alex, you were down there with Aaron Rodgers, came over to the sideline. What do you have?
Yes, Brad, he was immediately surrounded by doctors and trainers as he was grabbing his right elbow. The Packers officially calling it a right elbow, although you see him back out there. He was flexing his hand quite a bit, though, as he ran back onto the field. Graham Harrell immediately got up and started warming up, and then a few minutes later, Aaron came over and got him out of the way, and he's back in, obviously.
He had a smile in the huddle before that last handoff to Cedric Benson. They're going to keep working him as he cuts outside across the 45, and he's got a first down. So finally, they got more going on the ground so far right now than they did all of last week, Mike.
Yeah, and what's happening, Brad, is it's a 2-deep shell, so they're running against them. Look, when you got those 2, you want to run the football. So that's what they've done the last 2 plays against 2 high safeties. Did a real nice job inside getting pushed. There was the play 2 plays ago where he picked up 8 and then the first down.
So 27 yards for Cedric Benson. And that's more than he had last week. They fake it to him. Rodgers on the roll, getting pressure. He's going to throw this one away.
Brad, is they're a veteran defense. They understand their responsibilities under Rod Marinelli. That time, Adonijah recognized misdirection, and Tim Jennings was playing that soft cover too, got back under the deep route. So it's just team defense, and Rod Marinelli to me is one of those guys. You better tackle, you better understand your responsibilities, you better play hard and fast every snap.
Crabtree, the tight end in the backfield, as they fake it. Rodgers zips it down the sideline. Almost. Jordy Nelson got his hands on it and couldn't hold it. And he was the intended receiver on the final try last week against the 49ers and couldn't quite hang on.
And that's the hole shot that they want. The hole between the corner and the safety. He goes, cuts inside Jennings, Conti over the top. You can't throw that football any more beautifully. Would it be a difficult catch? Yes. But Ness, that's the difference in the NFL between being open and not open, that kind of window.
3rd down and 10. Bears look like they may bring an extra man, but they back out of it. Rodgers steps up in the pocket and goes down anyway, and it's Julius Peppers who is playing on the inside with a sack.
Really good call, Brad. 6 up, but Pepper, they only brought 4, but Peppers is inside right here on Lang. So 6 up, you're only going to bring 4. Look at the mismatch inside with Pepper on Lang. 101, I'm taking Julius Peppers every time, especially if Rodgers can't get rid of the football in his first look.
Julius Peppers, sack number 101 in his brilliant career. Matze, high hanger this time again. We're going to have to let this one go and hope it gets to the end zone, and it does. So they'll bring it out after a 57-yard punt. Still no score. We've got a defensive battle going on here in the first quarter in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go. And by Bridgestone, our passion for performance knows no bounds. Bridgestone, official tire of the NFL. With Mike Mayock and Alex Flanagan, Brad Nessler with you with 4:37 remaining. First quarter, Julius Peppers just stopped that last attempt by Green Bay to move it down the field. Bears now from their own 20-yard line. They have 5 total yards in offense so far. They've got a bunch more if that's caught. And it's going to be an interference call on DJ Smith.
Wanted, he got the interference he wanted, but really what ended up giving him the time to throw this football.
Interference. 51 defense, spotted the foul, first down.
His left tackle did a great job giving him some protection. There's the linebacker, DJ Smith, his hands. He got away with one earlier. They got him that time. Look over here. 101 with Clay Matthews, the 3rd-year player from West Texas A&M. Look how strong he is. When he gets his hands locked on, it's all over.
24-yard penalty. Moves it out to the 44-yard line. Bennett in motion and now sits in tight on the right side. 3 wide receivers. And Cutler's going to go down. Buried. Clay Matthews, the first one there. That's what he does best.
Yeah, they're doing a great job moving him around. Dom Capers outside, inside. Look at the strength. He just runs right through the left tackle, Chris Spencer. They moved him inside. Why? Well, he was on the left tackle the last snap. Look at him. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I don't know. You know, if I look like him, I don't think I'd ever wear sleeves either, Brad.
No long sleeves. No.
Yeah.
2nd and 20. Trying to screen pass to Forte, and that's blown up. Another loss of 2 this time, and that was A.J. Hawk coming from his inside linebacker position, who smelled that one out.
Yeah, former top 10 pick. He sees it right here. Look at Hawk. He reads the running back. He sees the center, Garza, come out early. He almost beat Forte to the spot. Look at him. Great job. Beats Garza, gets to Forte. I never thought we'd see so much defense and so little offense, but I'll tell you one thing, Brad. This is a bit 3rd and 20-something. Jay Cutler sometimes can't help himself.
3rd and 22. And they'll keep it on the ground of Forte. Loses his balance, trips up out to the 39-yard line. And here comes the punting unit again.
Playing it conservatively. Didn't want to throw against an 8-man drop. Clay Matthews dominating that series.
This has just been a field position battle here with a defensive first quarter. Randall Cobb waiting on the punt. Like to get his hands on one that he could return. So far the Bears have kept it from him with high kicks like this, and they will again. Fair catch at the 21-yard line. 2:35 remaining in the first quarter. No score with these two high-powered offenses. Part of the reason guys like number 52 keeping the Bears in check. Wednesday, catch Ray Lewis of Football Life. Watch one of the most outspoken defenders in the game, unfiltered and uncut. See number 52 like you've never seen him before. Ray Lewis of Football Life, Wednesday at 8 Eastern, exclusively on NFL Network. Two great quarterbacks, both struggling so far tonight with 2:35 remaining first quarter. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers from the 21.
Changing the play. He's got two high safeties. Now they're rotating.
And now a run blitz, and it's going to pay off unless Benson can pop it outside. He can't. No gain on the play. Paya made first contact. Major Wright came up from the secondary to make the stop.
Remember, they put Matt Towina down today because they were looking for their best pass rushing interior people. So you're going to see a lot of Paya and Amobi Okoye. And along with Peppers, I think one of the most undervalued guys in this league is Henry Melton, the defensive tackle.
319.
Rodgers pump fake, comes back across the middle. Benson first down, out across the 35 to the 38. Pickup of 17.
You know, I really thought after the pump he was going to Jordy Nelson. Nelson's going to get in here. He's going to come off the pump right there and come back inside. Real nice job looking off the defenders. Finds the hole. That's an easy first down and vintage Aaron Rodgers.
319.
First and 10 for Green Bay with a minute and a half to go in the quarter. Rodgers again across the middle. Again, it's Benson. If you can't get him open as a running back, just throw that short stuff across the middle and let him do his thing out there in the second level.
And do you sense Aaron Rodgers just kind of settling into a little bit of rhythm now?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think they're trying to figure out who they are. Cedric Benson is new to this offense. He's not used to being parallel to a quarterback. He's used to dotting the I. He's got to learn some new stuff late in his career here.
Second down and 2. This is maybe a down you can play with a little bit. They won't. They'll keep it on the ground, and he's got a first down. Out to the midfield stripe. Nick Roach made the tackle, but Cedric Benson's got 5 more.
Yeah, they're using Tom Crabtree, their tight end, as a move tight end H-back, and he becomes the lead blocker really in a 2-back scheme right there.
So we might be down to the final play of the first quarter. No score so far. If you're worried, in 185 meetings, there's never been a scoreless tie. The Bears won a couple of them back in 22 and 23 by a score of 3-0. I think
I don't know where you came up with that one, pal.
Here's a stretch and a good run again by Cedric Benson. 8 more. After 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons in Cincinnati, he's got the wheels turning in the green and gold of Green Bay here.
Yeah, and T.J. Lang, the left guard, did a wonderful job there getting out to the second level. And Brad, if these guys are start to run the ball effectively and get some balance, watch out.
We've played a quarter. 2 high-powered offenses struggled early. Right now, Green Bay's got something working. At the end of 1 at Lambeau. Bears nothing. Packers nothing. At Lambeau Field, it was then called New City Stadium. 55 years ago, Ed Brown, a touchdown run for the Bears. Back came Babe Barilli. 37-yard touchdown pass to Billy Houghton. And the Packers went on to win 21-17. Now Now Lambeau Field in its 56th year as the home to the Packers, the 300th regular season game tonight. Brett Favre played the most games in this place, 120. Starting the second quarter, Green Bay with a 2nd down and 3. Play action, Rodgers loads and zips one down the middle, but in and out of the hands of Jermichael Finley, and that one had some zuzu on it.
Exactly like the throw to Jordy Nelson just a moment ago, where it's a tiny window off play action. Here's a mismatch right here. Finley on a linebacker. That ball is catchable. If you're an all-pro tight end, you should catch that football. Really good effort by Briggs underneath, undercutting it, but Aaron Rodgers, you can't throw it any better.
Finley actually tried to pin it against his helmet when he knew he was going to drop it. Now it's 3rd down and 3 again, and Rodgers in trouble again. Lofts one, incomplete. Intended for James Jones. Henry Melton was applying the pressure.
Yeah, you mentioned Henry Melton, and he's kind of an interesting story because he was a tailback who became a fullback at University of Texas.
Right.
And we talked to Lovie Smith last night. What did you see in him to draft him in the 4th round as a defensive tackle? And he said, athletically, that's what we want on our D-line. Julius Peppers, that kind of guy. And now he's 295 and he runs a 4.65 40. 7 sacks a year ago, 2 last week. One of the best interior rushers in the NFL.
Packers can afford to delay a game here if that's what's going to be the call, as there was some decision making going on whether or not they wanted to go on 4th down and 3.
Yeah, 4th and 3, you're almost in that.
Green Bay is challenging the number of defensive players in the last play.
Well, that's something you don't see very often. We'll see if Mike McCarthy pays off with that challenge when we come back. Right now, Nick Roach is trying to get off the field, Mike. There are 12 out there right now.
I think they're going to lose this. Rodgers wants it. He thinks he's got him on the 3rd and 3 play. Roach is off. His foot's in the air, and here comes the ball. That is so close, but I don't think you can overrule that.
After review, defense had 12 men on the field. So it was substitution, 5-yard penalty. That results in a 1st down.
Aaron Rodgers.
I thought his foot was in the air. I thought he was off the field, his foot in the air. Great job by Aaron Rodgers. That's a freebie right there.
No doubt. And gives them a 1st down.
I mean, if this turns into points, we got to look back at this particular. Look at him. Right. Let it roll a little tiny bit more. He's in the air, and here comes the ball. I don't know how you overturn that one, man. See.
Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy win their plea.
Well, that's great job by those guys. I struggle with it because the ruling on the field was they had 11, so you had to have definitive evidence otherwise.
They moved the sticks. Green Bay with a 1st down at the Bear 37.
Okay.
See if Green Bay can take advantage of it. Quick throw. Oh, what a hit.
Wow.
On James Jones by Tim Jennings. Loss of 5.
Again, Tim Jennings had a huge game a week ago. People criticize him mostly because he's 5'8". Watch how aggressive he comes. He reads it immediately, beats the block, makes the tackle. The Packers are fortunate that Jones didn't fumble this football.
Backs it up to 2nd down and 15. Rodgers to Jordy Nelson down to the 34. And it's going to bring up another 3rd down situation. Jordy Nelson, sensational last year. Only 2 other guys in the league had more touchdown catches. 1,263 yards and averaged almost 19 a grab.
Yeah, he and Sitton are 2 of the most underappreciated players around.
3rd down and 7. Rodgers is going to flip it out to his fullback, Kuhn. And even though he gets the chance from the crowd, he doesn't get to the 1st down marker. Did get to the 30-yard line.
And this is what the Bears do as well as anybody when they sit in that 2 deep. Urlacher runs down the middle with the tight end. They force the check down. And Brad, what they do really well is they tackle. They rally up and they tackle.
Mason Crosby's got plenty of leg for Green Bay. His career long a 58-yarder. This one's going to be from about 48 or 49.
And after Oakland the other night, there's been a lot of renewed interest about backup long snappers around this league.
Trying to get our first score of the night. Crosby's kick is perfect. Green Bay scores first. Mason Crosby from 48 yards out. 12:56 remaining in the first half. Still a defensive struggle going on, but finally we've got points on the board. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Lexus, introducing a stunning work of technology, the entirely new Lexus ES. And by Pizza Hut's Big Dinner Box, all your favorites in one epic box. Pizza Hut, make it great. Mason Crosby made the 48-yard field goal, and now he'll kick it away to Devin Hester, who has 5 career kickoff returns for touchdowns, 2 last year. Devin's going to get a shot at it from 2 yards deep. Hester across the 20. Still on his feet out to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, that was a good job by Crosby on the tackle.
No doubt about that. Been a lot of pressure on Jay Cutler tonight so far, Mike.
Yeah, Mike Martz's mission is to protect Cutler, but so far early it's been all Green Bay. Really nice job. DJ Smith, the inside linebacker, beats Forte. Discipline on the edge by Clay Matthews. And then again, Clay Matthews on a stunt inside, lining up at a different position. Matthews has been dominant, and so far, Cutler hasn't been able to get the football down the field.
Michael Bush in at tailback for Chicago. He's going to get his first carry of the night. And a guy that had 2 touchdowns last week in the opening win goes out to the 44-yard line to pick up a 7.
Brad, I think I said Mike Martz. I meant Mike Tice, right. Obviously. His mission number 1 this year is, number 1, protect the quarterback. Number 2, run the football.
Mike Martz's main goal wasn't always to keep Jay Cutler in mass protection.
I'm not going there, pal.
Okay.
You go to the Love Boat all you want, but I'm not going there.
Close to a first down. Michael Bush got a couple.
You know, all the talk in the offseason about Jay Cutler is centered around Brandon Marshall, and justifiably so. However, the third part of that triumvirate is Jeremy Bates, the quarterback coach, who was together with both of them in Denver. I had him down on the field an hour and a half before the game, you should have seen him putting Marshall and Cutler through a workout an hour and a half before the game. It was great.
These two teams are 0 for 7 combined on their third downs here so far in the first half. And now we've got one. Out to the 49 and a first down run by Bush. Philip Merling made the stop. But the guy, Michael Bush, the 6th year out of Louisville, picks up the first down.
I've watched a lot of quarterbacks warm up, and Peyton Manning comes out and he works out those wide receivers pretty hard. They run a hard route tree, and it was fun watching it earlier tonight. And after this snap, maybe we'll get a look at Cutler and all his receivers getting a lather up about an hour and a half before the game.
Right near midfield as Jay Cutler cut one loose here.
Jay Cutler, play action. He's got to get down the field. One-on-one matchup.
Nope. Keep it on the ground. Michael Bush picked up 4 more.
And here they are on the field under the direction again of Jeremy Bates. Just a little bit of warm-up. That's Brandon Marshall. Slant. I think he runs the slant as well as any wide receiver in football at 6'4", 230, big-bodied guy. The entire group of wide receivers and quarterbacks were out, and man, they had it going. Now, it's not going so well yet, but I like the way they got after it early.
Marshall down to the bottom of your screen. 2nd down and 6. Cutler's looking that way. Comes complete to Earl Bennett. And Bennett's got a first down. Earl Bennett, his 4th catch of the year.
Bringing heavy pressure off the edges. They've got Bing and Bing over here, and Cutler does a nice job. Burnett coming one way, The other safety, Woodson, coming under heavy pressure. He stands tall, delivers the football.
Burnett put his helmet right in Cutler's back, but he still got it out for the first down at the 38-yard line. Chicago's offense starting to click a little bit. They've done it because the ground game has helped the cause. This time Bush doesn't get much. Flags all over the place. Karimi and Davis and
A.J. Hawk took a late shot, and the Bears retaliated and pushed him right over the pile. Here's Hawk. Watch him. Late hit right there. That ought to be on Hawk. And there comes Karimi.
Offense.
Nah, that old
15-yard penalty.
doesn't that frustrate you?
Second guy always gets it.
Come on. And now Karimi's got to take care of himself first and understand that he's at risk if he retaliates. So you can't exonerate him. However, the refs missed an easy one there. That's a bad job by Hawk taking the shot, and Karimi's got to stay away from that.
So just when Chicago had it going into Green Bay territory, they're going to back it out of there and back across midfield.
Dude, that is such a drive killer. It's unbelievable. You finally get a little rhythm going. You've got the ball on the plus side, and you allow your second-year right tackle, who's a tough kid who I like a lot, but you've got to discipline yourself.
And going to have a timeout here. 9:34 remaining first half. They only score a Green Bay field goal. We're back 9:34. Actually, we can go anywhere.
You know, Brad, Gabe Karimi, who just had that penalty, is an interesting guy. I saw him at the Senior Bowl 2 years ago. And I said, you know, you're kind of a neighborhood guy. Would you mind if I called you a meatball in the air? You know, you're like, and he's like, and this is an interview. I'm interviewing him. He goes, meatball, are you kidding me? I'm round and I'm delicious. So that's cool. He's a character. He's a fun guy.
Oh, he's from Wisconsin. He's more like a bratwurst. They're trying to get the down marker, I think, changed from first to second, which shouldn't be that big of an issue. Don't forget, next week we go to Charlotte, and the world champion Giants will be there. Eli Manning against Cam Newton, Steve Smith and company. Should be a great one next Thursday night from Charlotte. Hope you join us.
Yeah, a tough start for both teams. They need wins desperately. That's going to be a fun night. The defense of the Giants against Cam Newton.
Here comes the blitz. Down goes Cutler, and guess who? Clay Matthews, number 2 on the night.
And again, when Green Bay brings 5 or more, it forces a single on the edge. And Clay Matthews against a left tackle, Jamarcus Webb. There's the matchup. Matthews off the edge. They're bringing 5. Little arm over move. Jamarcus Webb cannot handle his speed. That's a really good job with his right hand and then the left arm over.
It is third down, and from here to Appleton. They got to get to the 28-yard line. That's way over there on the left side of your screen, folks. Cutler across the middle, completes it to Alshon Jeffrey, the rookie out of South Carolina, but only a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, rookie on rookie there. Casey Hayward, the second-round pick from Vandy, made the tackle, and Cutler's not real happy.
No, he's not.
Look at him.
I think he's letting Jamarcus Webb know that he's not happy. And Karimi is the guy that stunted that drive with the personal foul.
And Brad, we all felt Chicago was pretty confident coming into this game offensively.
It's waning a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Confidence. Nice kick. Maybe too good. Bounces at the 1. Just barely made the end zone. It had a spin on it and almost stayed there. 53-yard kick. Clay Matthews has been all over the field, as he was a week ago in a loss. Tonight his team in front by 3 with 7:54 in the half. Kevin Green, the outside linebackers coach who knew a little bit of something about sacking quarterbacks, talking to Clay Matthews, who's got 2 tonight. We've got more sacks in the game so far than we have points. Green Bay from the 20. Cedric Benson trying to take it outside and no gain. Let's check in with Alex.
Hey, Brett, well, as you and Mike know, Cedric Benson's still relatively new to this offense and trying to fit in. Every time in between series on the sidelines, he's sitting down looking at pictures and then calling his tight end and his fullback over. Seems like he's almost trying to communicate to them the way that he likes them to block for him. Certainly seems to be working for him so well and so far in this game.
Aaron Rodgers told us that he missed a few holes last week, still trying to fit into the system and the blocking scheme of Green Bay.
He likes this. He likes being deep, and he likes Kuhn at fullback.
They fake it to him. Rodgers comes back short to John Kuhn, the fullback. That's his second catch of the night, but it's good for only 2 yards.
Look, Chicago's playing their patented cover 2, too deep. It's a situation where you want to run the football, and they're struggling a little bit. Now, Ness, he's already had 10 carries. Last week he had 9 for 18. Today it's 10 for 40. But they've got to be patient, stick with the run game, because Chicago will not let them get the football vertically down the field.
And now Aaron Rodgers will be in the shotgun on 3rd down at 7. Kuhn, the fullback, there to give him some protection.
Peppers inside at tackle.
Rodgers throws on the run, throws a strike, complete to Randall Cobb. First down, Green Bay.
I showed you Peppers inside, and they ate him alive. Watch him right in here. Bulaga gets a piece of him after the double team right there. Bulaga, he goes down. That allows Rodgers to roll to his right. Cobb sits in the hole. Ball is well thrown. So it's a combination of pass protection, and Aaron Rodgers is as good as anybody in the game at extending the play.
319! 319!
On first down, the quick throw to Jordy Nelson. And Nelson's out across the 48-yard line.
Brad, I thought one of the big differences last week in watching both these defenses on film, Chicago rallies up and tackles everybody. Green Bay had at least 8 to 10 missed tackles on Frank Gore and some of their wide receivers. And really, that was one of the major differences in why Green Bay lost the football game last week.
I thought in week 1 of most of the games I saw that none of the tackling was that good.
Bad tackling, right?
Second down 4 as we approach 5 minutes. Rodgers, quick drop's going to swing it out. Cedric Benson on a screen pass. Broke 1 tackle and got a first down near the 45. Lance Briggs brought him down from behind, but Cedric Benson having a good first half.
And Tom Crabtree, number 83, showing some real versatility, lining up at fullback, lining up at tight end. He got the key block there as an H-back on Tim Jennings.
Aaron Rodgers has hit his last 7 passes. They've moved it, the Packers, to the Bears' 46-yard line.
Patient, patient, patient. Then they're going to go play action and try and hit something deep pretty soon.
DJ Williams, the tight end, settles in on the right side as they go straight up the middle with Alex Green. And he only got about 2 before they shove him backwards. Second-year running back out of Hawaii.
Yeah, Corey Wooten out of Northwestern beats the right tackle Bulaga across his face to make the play. Brian Bulaga does a bad job not sealing inside.
Julius Peppers getting a breather.
You know what I think? I think he's been more productive in Chicago with less snaps because they're cognizant of his snap total, and I think he's been more explosive when he plays.
Here are the Packers again in an high backfield. And a give to Cedric Benson. And as Aaron Rodgers told us, he likes it in the dot. He was in the dot there, and he goes down inside the 40, dotting the I, that is, close to the 38-yard line.
He loves the dot, and he likes that fullback in front of him. And when you have a guy like John Kuhn, Kuhn's right here. 3-man surface, that's where you want to attack, and that's where they go. Kuhn gets a linebacker. There's the cut by Benson. That play is gold. If you can attack the 3-man surface with a fullback and the I-back, Cedric Benson, you got something going.
Jermichael Finley will be in motion on a 3rd down and 3. And here's a little toss to Randall Cobb inside the 25, and Cobb's got it down to the 11-yard line. There's one we haven't seen yet except in practice the other day.
Exactly. Cobb in the backfield. Jermichael Finley's going to get an easy down block, allowing Bulaga out. Finley here, Bulaga out. Now, once he's got the football, Bulaga makes the block. You and I could run through that hole. And this kid is special with the ball in his hands. I don't care if it's a punt return, a kickoff return, or Brad, like you said, in the backfield, finding creative ways to get him touches.
He's going to empty that backfield. No, he won't. He'll come back and stay there. From the 11-yard line, Rodgers in trouble from behind. And it's Julius Peppers again. That little breather gave him the energy to come from the backside, and down goes Aaron Rodgers one more time.
Marshall Newhouse has got more than he can handle here. Left tackle against Peppers one-on-one. Now, bang, and there goes Peppers around. As soon as Aaron Rodgers has to pull the ball back down, this is not Marshall Newhouse's fault. He's got a chance to push him by. Rodgers can't get rid of the football, and the relentless hustle of Peppers makes the play.
That's sack number 102 in Julius Peppers' career.
It seems like sack number 102 in tonight's game.
We've got a timeout. A 2nd down and 17 for Green Bay when we return to Lambeau in a moment. Thursday Night Football brought to you by Delta Faucet. See what Delta can do. And by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Looking in on Lambeau Field with 2:09 remaining in the half. One field goal is all we've got in this game. We've had a ton of defense. Both quarterbacks have felt the wrath of Julius Peppers and Clay Matthews so far. And that last sack by Peppers has forced Green Bay into a 2nd down and 17 when they had it down at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, the defensive stars are as advertised. Unfortunately for the offenses, so are the left tackles.
Right. Both left tackles have had their hands full tonight.
You know, Marshall Newhouse is a 5th-round pick. Had 13 starts last year, 10 at left tackle, 3 at right tackle, so he's still a puppy. And Brad, he's not even 6'4". He's probably the shortest left tackle in the league out of TCU, and he's going to struggle with Peppers all day long because of Peppers' length.
Now we're set to go at the 18-yard line. Jermichael Finley has been kind of quiet. The big tight end has one catch and has one down the seam that he got his hands on and couldn't hold.
Yeah, he might be down the seam also. He's right here.
Bears with a 4-man rush, and they're going to get to Aaron Rodgers just with that. And it's Henry Melton, who had 2 sacks last week, and he's got another one tonight.
And Brad, I think he wanted the tight end down the middle and couldn't pull the trigger on it. And again, the secondary of the Bears are the ones that are forcing Rodgers to pull the ball down. Look right there. It's not there. He has to pull the football down. Melton makes the play. And Brad, we got a defensive fight on our hands. Green Bay 3, Chicago nothing.
Rich Eisen here on the Tundra, letting you know what's coming up on the Lexus Halftime Show, a preview of a football life, Ray Lewis, and full highlights and analysis of a defensive first half that Mike and Brad is proving that punters are people too.
No doubt about it. It's been a sack-filled night. Green Bay about one more sack from being out of field goal range. Rodgers across the middle, in and out of the hands of Cobb, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was a disconnect there between Rodgers and Cobb or just a bad throw. I think he might have wanted him to sit it down. Throws it behind him, which is atypical of one of the most accurate quarterbacks I've ever seen. So I don't know if he expected the second-year man Cobb to sit that thing down or not.
Mason Crosby hit a 48-yarder for our only score of the night. He'll try to tack 3 more on here from 45 yards out. Mastay to hold, and it's a fake, and it's inside to the tight end, wide open. Tom Crabtree, touchdown, Green Bay. Our first leap of the night.
Sean Slocum, the special teams coach for the Packers, got him.
Mastay the holder to Tom Crabtree. Touchdown, 27 yards.
That was so cool right there. And what a way to jumpstart your offense. We've been talking about Crabtree all night. Okay, there's the flip. Look at the blocking inside right there. That is a wonderful job. Don Barclay does a good job down the field. The block by Evan Dietrich Smith. Those two guys are backup offensive linemen that hardly ever see the light of day. They made the key block on the first touchdown of the night.
Crosby for the point after on a match day's hold right up the middle with 1:50 remaining in the half. We finally have a touchdown pass with two Pro Bowl quarterbacks on the field. It's the punter to the backup tight end. A touchdown. Tonight's aerial coverage is being presented by Southwest Airlines. As you look in on Lambeau Field, regular season game number 300 in the 56th year of this stadium being the home to the Packers. A touchdown by Green Bay makes it 10-0. A special teams touchdown. Sean Slocum, the special teams coach, has got to be grinning over there on the sideline.
That was a cool play, man.
Sure was. Devin Hester, this one's going to be too deep, and he'll take a knee 9 yards in. And there's Sean Slocum, the special teams coach for the Packers, and somewhere in Texas, his dad RC is smiling as well.
You know, watch here is Crabtree. He comes across. My favorite part of this play is the block here and the block coming through. Why? It's two offensive linemen. Don Barclay, a rookie from West Virginia. Evan Dietrich Smith, a third-year player from Idaho State. They never are in the games except for special teams. And the guy that scores the touchdown is a backup tight end. I love seeing those guys step up in key situations.
I wonder if Crabtree ever expected to be Lambeau leaping tonight. And now Jamarcus Webb, who's had a tough night, makes it tougher.
False start. 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still for down.
He's trying to get a head start over that left tackle spot so he doesn't get chewed up by Clay Matthews or whoever's bringing the heat. And now it's going to make it harder on Cutler and the Bears. 1st and 15.
Yeah, that might be the only way he blocks Clay Matthews tonight.
Get a quick drop step?
Yeah. Because we've talked about the explosion of Clay Matthews. We've talked about bringing 5 so he can get one-on-one.
Chicago 2 timeouts remaining.
That guy has not been targeted yet tonight.
Brandon Marshall. Cutler.
Great coverage.
And out of bounds.
Boy, is that good coverage across the board with a safety over top. They're playing man under.
Casey Hayward makes the play, the rookie out of Vanderbilt. Not a pass intended for Earl Bennett.
Trying to drag the foot, but that right foot was already out and he did not have possession. Clearly an incompletion. Brad, you mentioned the defensive back from Vandy, the 2nd-round pick. Really like the kid. Instincts and ball skills. I think he's going to be a very good football player.
Jay Cutler in the shotgun. He's been harassed all night. This time he gets it across the middle of Forte on the run. And he's out across the 35 to the 36 and a first down.
Yeah, this time they pick up Clay Matthews. Why? Because they run an X-stun inside. The guard does a great job of picking him up.
The Bears going with a hurry up here with 1:25 remaining in the half. They have 2 timeouts to work with. Cutler on first down. And that one's batted down and almost intercepted by Morgan Burnett, the safety who came over to make the play.
Burnett should have made that play, and Green Bay's been playing a lot of 2-man. 2 deep shell, and then when the wide receivers get past the corner, Morgan Burnett drives on the football. Cutler steps up, so therefore he's late throwing the football because he had to step up through the pocket. Burnett almost makes the play, but man, you got to catch that.
About 2 minutes ago you said Brandon Marshall hasn't been targeted yet. How come they don't at least rip one to him and see what happens?
I think they have to. The problem, the safety's been over top of him all day long.
Cutler waits and comes back across the middle, and it's picked off. Green Bay's got it back. Tramon Williams with the interception.
Yeah, Mike Daniels, the rookie defensive tackle from Iowa, gets some good pressure, forcing Cutler in the pocket, but it's a poorly thrown pass. And Brad, you said it correctly. He waits, and then the ball gets undercut. Does he catch it and keep possession throughout? It looks like it from that angle. Tramon Williams Ball's trapped against his chest. I couldn't see with the yard marker whether he used the ground or not here. The point of the football hits the ground. However, as long as he keeps possession throughout the process, it's a catch.
Tramon Williams has had.
That should be reviewed, folks, and it will be.
Now they stop play. Referee is Gerald Wright.
And remember, this is a challenge from upstairs.
Right.
And correctly so.
Inside 2 minutes. A minute 7 remaining in the half.
Now, that last shot that we showed, it looked to me like the point of the football hit the ground and they might have cradled it. Let's see if we can see it again. Hands catch. Point of the football hits the ground, and is it loose there, or does he have possession throughout with the right hand underneath? That shot right there gives me doubt, but is it enough to overturn?
All change of possession plays reviewed. This one will take a moment, I'm sure. Tramon Williams, great play, whether it's an interception or not. He has had at least 4 interceptions the last 4 years. And Dom Capers, remember, told us yesterday that he thought in the Super Bowl 2 years ago that the second half of the season, Tramon Williams is as good a cornerback as anybody around. Don't forget, Sunday morning, you're going to wake up with First on the Field for live reports from game sites and analysis from our expert team, including LaDainian Tomlinson. And you can catch the Emmy-nominated NFL Game Day morning at 9 for all the latest news, analysis, injury reports, and more. First on the Field, and then Game Day morning. All starts Sunday. You got to get up early for this. 7 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. That guy hasn't caught a pass because they haven't thrown one to him yet.
And again, Brad, there's been a safety sitting over top of him all day long. And Green Bay, whose DNA has been rush 5, rush 6, a lot of man-to-man last week against San Francisco, a lot of exotic blitzes this week, more conservative, especially on the back end. Playing a lot of cover 2, man underneath.
Jay Cutler, there's Dom Capers, who we just talked about, defensive coordinator for the Packers. One of the more respected defensive minds in the National Football League, without a doubt. So again, the play under review on whether or not Tramon Williams picked that pass off or not. If so, it gives Green Bay a golden opportunity. They've still got 3 timeouts that they could work with. And here's one more look. The fans here get to see that too, because the jumbotrons and the replay systems around the NFL this year show them what you see at home and what we see up here in the booth. Ernie France is our replay official, by the way, tonight here at Lambeau Field.
I think that's a very, very difficult call. I mean, that shot right there played in slow motion makes it look like the football's loose there. When you play it at full speed, which is the way we're officiating this thing, it's completely different.
This is what the fans are seeing. This is what Tramon Williams and his teammates sitting over there on the bench are seeing. And that one obviously from a long shot. And this review is taking a while.
You know, we talked about Marshall, no catches and more importantly, no targets. And, you know, one of the reasons is been the rush has gotten to the quarterback.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
I didn't think there was enough to overturn that. I think that's the right call.
Now you've got 3 timeouts. You've got the National Football League's MVP at quarterback for Green Bay. They are thinking points here before halftime.
Trust me, Aaron Rodgers is thinking 7 points, not 3 points.
Right.
With those timeouts and with the momentum gained from a fake field goal touchdown and a turnover generated by your defense.
At the 48 of the Bears, Rodgers loads and comes across the middle of Jordy Nelson, who cuts back to the 41-yard line. Pickup of 8. And they're going to take one of the timeouts right here.
Yeah, he was frustrated. He was trying to get that timeout a couple seconds earlier.
Still 56 seconds to work with. And it'll be second down and about 3. Not too late to sign up and play NFL.com fantasy football. You sign up today for the official fantasy game of the NFL at NFL.com/fantasy. Well, this is reality, and the reality is the Bears haven't scored at all, and now they're looking at Green Bay trying to score again before the break. That would be a big hole to try to climb out of, especially if the Packers get a touchdown here.
And I give Green Bay and Mike McCarthy credit here. In a low-scoring game, they go for the fake field goal, score a touchdown off of it, and they're going to really frustrate Chicago if they get any more points on the board here.
Second down and a long 2. The quick throw complete to Finley, but he's hit immediately, and they get him right about at the line of scrimmage. Tim Jennings again, a nice open field tackle on a guy a lot bigger than he is.
Tim Jennings, I don't care that he's 5'8". He sticks his head in there all the time. He's creative, he's tough, has vision on the quarterback. This time they're single high, man to man, and they run the football.
And Akun, the fullback, and did he get it? Ryan Urlacher made the tackle. It's right about at the line they had to get to. That was Kuhn's first carry of the year. He had a couple of receptions in this half. And it's a first down.
Yeah, people don't talk enough about Kuhn as a pass protector for Aaron Rodgers. I think he's one of the premier running back technicians in the game as far as protecting his quarterback.
So clock stopped again. 31 seconds remaining in the half. But you talk about a golden opportunity, partner. First the special teams touchdown, and then the interception that Jay Cutler threw. And Jay Cutler, you talked about it in the open. He hasn't played well at Lambeau Field. He's not playing well tonight either.
He's not getting a lot of help from a protection standpoint. Let's face it, there's been 7 or 8 sacks in this game already with both teams. Cutler's had nobody to throw the football to, no protection. But when he gets frustrated is when he tends to force the football. Right. And that last throw was not accurate. It was a bad decision.
He's been frustrated with a lot of things, including his left tackle tonight. He let Jamarcus Webb have it a few times. So he's a guy that hopes to have a much better second half, obviously. Just standing over there, he can only watch now to see if the Bear defense can hold Green Bay scoreless here in the last half minute. This was a little bit earlier in this quarter, coming off the field, and that's his left tackle. And watch this, not only a mouthful, a little shoulder bump there on the way by. Not a happy guy right now.
No, his left tackle's gotten whipped one-on-one by one of the premier pass rushers in the game. And in the second half, you talk about adjustments and what do you have to do? Well, you've got to recognize that when Clay Matthews is singled up, you've got a problem over there, and you've got to chip, or you've got to bring a tight end. You've got to do something so that Clay Matthews can't single-handedly beat you.
Green Bay has got a 1st and 10. A first down would put them at the 28-yard line. They have to. The officials are looking at something now. You take a look.
It's probably
whether Kuhn got a first down.
Yeah. And Urlacher made a heck of a hit right there. It looks like the ball in the right hand would be a right arm spot would be a first down. Urlacher had 135 tackles and 3 interceptions a year ago. Awful lot of conversation in Chicago about where he is with that knee. He's still a great leader. They're trying to manage that knee. They practice him every other day.
Got a Bear down on the far side of the field. It's Charles Tillman, who until yesterday was questionable. And I think it's just a shoe problem. He's had a shin problem they thought was going to keep him out of this game. But apparently he's all right, and they're still looking at that last play.
There's Crabtree on the fake field goal. And again, it's Evan Dietrich Smith and Don Barkley with the key blocks. 2 linemen that hardly ever play. Here comes Barkley. There's the block out front. The cut by Crabtree. And the third-year player.
The ruling on the field stands.
Crabtree's a third-year player from Miami of Ohio, and he's got the biggest play of the night.
Well, as all of you know, I think we have replacement officials here at the start of the NFL season. I quite frankly think there's been a few times that some of the stuff was pretty easy. That's first down. That was a first down 3 minutes ago.
Right. No doubt.
But they got it right. That's the best part. So at the 38-yard line, Aaron Rodgers has 1 timeout to work with. They'd like to get it down and get at least Mason Crosby an opportunity for 3 here before the break, but they'd still like to take a crack and try to get 7. Rodgers pressure on the inside, across the middle, and flags fly. Might have a holding call in the secondary. I don't know who it was intended for. Maybe Jordy Nelson. I think he was the closest guy. Randall Cobb was up there too.
I think it was Cobb. There was a collision down the field on the tight end, Jermichael
For the
Finley.
pass, illegal contact, 21 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Major Wright is number 21, but this is DJ right here on the tight end. That's what I thought. I saw some contact on Finley.
So now they moved it down to the 33-yard line. So they're in Mason Crosby range already. And now they got a first down with 26 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, it's still a 51-yard field goal,
Right.
and you still want to eat up some yards here. And if you know Aaron Rodgers, even with the too high shell, he's going to get itchy and try and take a shot.
Let's see if it's here. Rodgers on first down. Fires, and it's almost intercepted by Briggs. He had it in his hands twice and couldn't hold it.
Boy, he did a great job rolling into that route. He's right here. He's going to roll into the route, and the ball gets put on him. He walls off the outside guy, reads the quarterback, eyes on the quarterback. He gets hit between the 5 and the 5. He does everything right except catch the football.
Wow.
And that means points on the board, Brad, right?
Absolutely.
That's huge right there.
It did take 5 seconds, 21 seconds remaining. On 2nd and 10, Rodgers screen pass to Kuhn. The fullback Kuhn inside the 20, and now they're down to the 17-yard line. Clock running, 10 seconds. They might just wait this out and take the 3.
Yeah. Really good call.
Really didn't have enough time to try to regroup and take one more shot. I don't think they had enough time to gather the troops down there.
I agree. I think he initially was thinking, can I run him down there and spike it?
Yep.
And grab another play, but remember, one timeout left. He needed to guarantee the 3 points. And again, Lance Briggs, you got to hold on to that interception. Gabe Karimi, you can't hit the guy and get an unnecessary roughness penalty and take your own team out. The Bears have kind of self-imploded here. The big special teams play.
So Mason Crosby is hit from 48. Then he lined up for what we thought was going to be another field goal try from 45. That ended up being a touchdown. And now he'll try one from 35 yards out.
I'll tell you one thing, Tom Crabtree will not get the snap and score a touchdown here.
I don't think so. Again, the guy that's got the touchdown toss right there, that's the guy that caught it. Tim Astay, the holder, will put this one down at the 25-yard line. Barring penalty, Mason Crosby with a final play of the half from 35. The kick on the way and good. So Green Bay takes advantage of Tramon Williams' interception of Jay Cutler. And on the last play of the half, they add 3 to their total. They head to the locker room. The end of the first half. Packers 13, Bears nothing. Stick around. Rich and the guys with a Lexus halftime show from Lambeau Field is next. Just about set to start the third quarter at Lambeau with the Packers at home leading 13-0 as we take a look at the first half game summary presented by Delta Faucet. The high-powered Bears offense that we talked about all week after their win in their opener, 47 total yards and 7 yards passing. That'll frustrate any quarterback and any head coach. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler with Mike Mayock. We talked about these guys having all the tools. The tools aren't working right now.
Yeah, and I really believe the Bears are self-imploding here, and they had some opportunities and they kicked them away early in the game. The only time they went on the plus 50, Gabe Karimi retaliated on A.J. Hawk. Dumb penalty, pushing him over the pile. That took him out of field goal range. Down 3-0. Great call by Sean Slocum and the Packers. The fake field goal, touchdown by Tommy Crabtree, 10-0. And then you've got an opportunity to take points off the board. Lance Briggs drops easy interception at the end of the first half. They kick a field goal, and Brad, it's 13-0.
Remember, the Bears had 12 men on the field on a 3rd and 3. That gave the Packers their first score on Crosby's field goal, then the fake field goal for the touchdown, then the interception and the field goal to end the half. 13-0 as the Packers will kick away to Devin Hester. Again, the kick is out of the back of the end zone. Bears will bring it out on the touchback to the 20 as we check in with Alex.
Hey, Brad, well, it's no surprise that Lovie Smith told me at the half that their top priority in this second half will be protecting Jake Cutler, really saying that they will try anything they can to protect it, whether it's using a tight end, whether it's using the running game, whether it's chipping, anything to do it, because they are not able to do what they want to do on the outside because they can't protect Cutler. Cutler sacked 4 times in the first half. It's the same number of completions that he had in the first half.
That's amazing, isn't it? Last week, 428. Tonight, 47 in total yards. They've got that many total yards, and they've not thrown a pass to Brandon Marshall so far. And that in itself is a bit of a surprise. I know schematically that Green Bay's doing a good job, but at some point, I just can't believe they don't aim one in his direction.
Well, let's just underscore what Alex had a conversation with Lovie Smith about and protecting your quarterback. There are a lot of ways to do it. You can run the football, but when you're down at halftime 13-0, you have to throw it. If you can't protect your quarterback, Brad, you can't get the football down the field to your talented wide receiver.
Forte. Not much. DJ Smith and A.J. Hawk in on the stop.
That was a good job by Walden setting the edge there on defense, who was just activated this week off a suspension. And again, it's 3rd and 6. I guess that's pretty good because they've been averaging third and what, about 3rd and 16 or 17?
Yeah, 3rd and 16.3 so far. 3rd down and 5 here.
Okay, here's your guy, but there's the safety.
Morgan Burnett. Cutler in trouble again. Across the middle of Forte on the run. Nicely done. Out to the 41-yard line, a pickup of 15.
You know, Cutler did a nice job there because he wanted your guy. He wanted Brandon Marshall badly. But watch Cutler's movement in the pocket and coming to his secondary, who's going to be Forte. Slides up, eyes down the field, locates Forte. There was still heavy pressure, but that play was about Jay Cutler sliding, eyes downfield, and making a play.
That might be the best offensive play of the night for Chicago. Forte, a yard maybe. Clay Matthews on the tackle.
That's it.
Brandon Marshall, so many great years with Jay Cutler in Denver, but tonight on the hookup, nothing there.
Yeah, the whole first half, Brad, safety over top. Everywhere they lined up, Tramon Williams on him in man, safety over top. When they moved him inside, it was Woodson with the safety over top. Once again, and I think he's getting frustrated. I think they both are.
Second down and 9, Cutler in the shotgun. Woodson thinking about blitzing, he will. Cutler going deep down the middle for his tight end, and dropped by Jerron McMillan, the rookie.
Boy, McMillan had a chance to make a play, huh? Now, here's a situation. That's your guy, and they bring the safety over here. You had a chance to make a play on top of the screen. They had him one-on-one up top. If you're going to throw it, give it to him. Don't throw it down to the middle into double coverage. Jerron McMillan, the safety from Maine, the rookie 4th-round pick, had a chance to make a play. But, Brad, you're asking me, why can't they get it to him? And there it was. That was a bad read by Cutler on a late rotation by the Packers.
Now he's trying to get Marshall in tighter on the right side. And did they take a timeout? Apparently so. A frustrated Chicago Bears quarterback right now with 12:20 remaining third quarter. Thursday night football is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com, and by Burger King and the new crispy popcorn chicken. Limited time only at participating restaurants. With Mike Mayock and Alex Flanagan, Brad Nessler from Lambeau Field, 13-0 Green Bay. When you and I and Alex talked to Jay Cutler earlier this week, I don't think I've ever heard a quarterback more confident that what he thought was going to happen was going to go right tonight. So far, not.
And you can see the frustration clearly etched on his face during that timeout.
Clay Matthews right in the middle thinking about coming from there, and he will. Cutler, look out. He got rid of it. Nice throw to Forte and a first down.
And a good block by right guard Lance Lewis to keep the aforementioned Matthews off of him. But you're exactly right about Cutler. and what we're talking about. Here comes Clay Matthews right over the right guard. Good job by Lewis keeping his feet moving and pushing him past the quarterback. You know, we talked to Jay, and I felt like he was as confident and comfortable, both personally and professionally, as I've ever seen him.
Right.
And felt like they had the weapons finally to challenge Green Bay.
He's under center here after picking up 14 yards on that 3rd and long. Play action. Wants to go deep. Fires to the near sideline and throws it away.
Yeah, there's some disconnects here. I think they got to run a couple of screens. They got to do some things to slow down this rush. DJ Smith came around the edge there. Tramon Williams is undercutting Brandon Marshall all day long. I think Dom Capers has done a wonderful job game planning tonight.
The Bears tonight have run only 3 plays in Packer territory. They're there right now at the 45. They haven't even gotten past the 37 so far.
There it is. It looks like a single, but here comes the safety over top.
And they're going to keep it on the ground at Bush. And Michael Bush backs his way close to a first down. Burnett brings him down a yard shy.
And that's what Capers is trying to do to Cutler. You can see pre-snap, Capers had man-to-man, looked like a shot for Mike Tice to take, but then the safety sneaks over late. And it's 2-on-1 every snap.
Might get a little bit more of Michael Bush here. 3rd down and a yard.
Yeah, this is where Chicago just needs to be patient, get another first down, and keep grinding.
Bush is about 245 pounds. He's got the fullback flanked there with him. And they're going to take a shot right here. Swing it back to the fullback, or the tight end rather, and he's got a first down. And Spaeth.
Exactly. Remember, their best receiving tight end is down today. And what happens here is Spaeth comes across the line of scrimmage, gets just enough for a first down.
Working on Matt Forte over there on the Bears sideline. Nice to have a guy like Michael Bush to come in if there's an injury situation, or in this case,
right,
they might just want to use him.
And Kyle Adams is not activated tonight because of his shoulder. He's probably their best receiving tight end.
10th play of the Bears drive. And Michael Bush went down to a knee, got back up, and got to the 25-yard line. Picked up 8.
College football, he's down.
That's right.
Yeah, that's not a problem. And I thought Rodriguez, the rookie from Temple, did a nice job there on the block. They drafted Rodriguez as a tight end. He's become their H-back fullback and done a nice job.
Despite all the problems Chicago's had, they only trail by 13, and this is their deepest penetration of the night in the Green Bay territory.
Exactly. They get some points on the board. We got a football game.
Bush, his fullback's in front of him, but he never got to that level. Thanks to A.J. Hawk, who made the play, not necessarily the tackle, but he's the one that forced it. And Jarrell Worthy made the stop.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Hawk came untouched, scraping downhill from the outside. Matthews gets in here. Hawk will come over the top. There it is, untouched. Worthy gets the tackle.
The Bears have had 3rd and 5, 3rd and 9, and 3rd and 1 as they work on Matt Forte's ankle. Now they got a 3rd and 4. Can they convert a 4th third down on this drive at the 9-minute mark? Cutler waits, now goes deep,
got him.
End zone, dropped it. Marshall had it in his hands, would have been a touchdown.
They've been waiting all night, and they get what they want. He's the point man on a tight bunch. Here he is right here. He's coming in and back out. The safety can't get over the top. One-on-one throw. You can't put it out there any better. Is it a tough catch? Yes. But Brandon Marshall can make this catch every day. Got to make that catch. Look at it. I can't walk out there and put it any better. I can't hand it to him any cleaner.
They have to try to settle for a Robbie Gould 45-yard field goal. Any kind of points would help the Bears.
It's away, it's away, it's away, it's away.
And this one is good. Close to a touchdown. They settle for a field goal. Bears finally on the board with 8:49 remaining 3rd quarter. Mike, it took 33 plays for Jay Cutler to finally go to Brandon Marshall. Just missed. There's his reaction. There's Marshall's reaction after not holding on, but even better, watch this on the sideline. It's okay, we'll get it later.
I still love you, man.
Yep.
Right?
They did get a 53-yard drive, though, in 13 plays to finally get on the board with Gold's field goal. And now the kick. Randall Cobb will take a knee, and Green Bay will come out offensively at the 20-yard line. Again, what could have made it 13-7 was that close. Sunday, wake up with First on the Field for live reports from game sites and analysis from our expert team, including LaDainian Tomlinson. Then catch the Emmy-nominated NFL Game Day morning at 9 a.m. for the latest news, analysis, injury reports, and a lot more. First on the Field and Game Day morning. It all starts Sunday at 7 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. A week from tonight, we'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina. The world champion Giants will take on Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. That's a week from tonight. This is the first of our 13 Thursday night games on NFL Network, and it's a low-scoring affair at Lambeau Field. Cedric Benson on the throwback from Aaron Rodgers, and he made something out of that. He was going to lose yardage. Major Wright brought him down. He got 5.
Chicago is so well disciplined defensively. Heavy play fake one way, come all the way back to Benson, and Major Wright was just sitting there waiting for him, but Benson actually beat him to the edge and picked up about 5.
Matt Forte's heading to the locker room, and they were working on his ankle. Doesn't look like he's limping that much, but we'll try to get a report from Alex. Meanwhile, a 2nd and 5 on the field. DJ Williams, the tight end in motion as they keep it on the ground to Benson. Straight up the gut. And the ball came out at the end, but it was blown dead at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, Henry Melton, the defensive tackle, with another athletic play. He got cut by Crabtree and actually got up and made the tackle. Watch Crabtree right here get the block on Melton. Melton gets up, makes the tackle, but he's down.
Definitely down.
Yeah, we don't need to review that one.
So 3rd down and 1, and we might see Cedric Benson get it again.
Coon's in the game along with Crabtree, so they've got their bigger personnel in the game. That they're hybrids. They can split out like DJ Williams did here.
It's his high backfield that Benson likes behind his fullback, but what a play, stretching it out. And it's Urlacher. He can still get it done. Brian Urlacher, in his 13th year, just kept spreading that out, and finally Benson had nowhere to run.
Brings an Urlacher, and here's the point of attack block right here. Good job setting the edge, allowing both linebackers to come downhill. Urlacher ran right through Coon and the ball carrier Benson. He jacked Coon into Benson. That's a heck of a play. 4th down, they got a punt.
He's still the face of the Bears defense, much like Dick Butkus and Mike Singletary before him. Nice kick. Hester's got a shot, though, from the 18. And he's cut down, and the ball came out as well, but he scooped it back in there. Wow. John Kuhn on the special teams as you hear the crowd react.
How can you not love that dude? You kidding me?
Great punt coverage by the fullback, knocking down one of the most dangerous return men in the history of the game. Nice play. Chicago works from its own 24-yard line, trailing by 10 with 6:49 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Last game without a catch, 2006. They aimed the last one toward him. He's at the top of the screen that Mike circles. And it's Michael Bush. And it might be Michael Bush the rest of the night because of Matt Forte. As we take a look at what we think was the injury, Charles Woodson bringing him down, and watch Woodson's knee roll up on the back of Forte's ankle. And I think Alex has got more for us.
Yeah, Brad, they rewrapped his ankle, put some protective padding on it. We're hopeful during that process that he'd be able to go back into the game, but when he stood up and tried to move, he couldn't cut on the ankle at all, and that's when they took him to the locker room. Matt Forte now, his return to this game, doubtful.
So it's Michael Bush on 2nd and 5 up the middle. And he's very close to a 1st down. In fact, he might have it.
You know, Forte missed the last 4 games a year ago, Brad. And we all know he's one of the best football players in the league. However, has a tendency to get injured a little bit. Guy had 255 touches and only played 12 games.
And he ended 3 yards shy of 1,000 yards rushing. One of the most versatile, if not the most versatile backs in the league.
Huge play here.
Third down, less than 1. Bush has got it, and plenty more.
Yeah. Doing a really good job pushing the pile now. Rodriguez, that rookie from Temple, is doing a good job on the backer. They call that a bob block. A back on the backer is a bob block.
We're approaching 5 minutes in the third quarter. Hard fought, bloody nose type of game.
And you know what I like? I like the Bears haven't panicked. You know, they were down 13-0. They moved the ball down the field. Points on the board. Stopped Green Bay. Now they're back in it.
Frustrated, yes. Panic, no. Bush bounces it outside. Had the ball in the wrong hand, but he held on as A.J. Hawk finally brings him down after a gain of 7.
And they got a little something going with Bush in the inside run game right now. Give Phil Emery, the general manager, a lot of credit for signing him in the offseason.
Lovie Smith said it was almost like recruiting back in college to get him to be a Bear. There was other people that wanted his services.
He left Chicago, went to Cincinnati. Lovie kept calling him, we love you, we love you. And here he is, the bell cow this evening.
4 straight rushes for him. He'll get a breather. Armando Allen out of Notre Dame is in there, and he gets collared by B.J. Raji. Almost lost his head.
No. He's down.
Raji's working on the right guard, Lance Lewis, and Raji, a former first-round pick out of Boston College, one of the more physically gifted big men in the game. Hard inside move off the guard, beats the center Garza, and almost takes the head off Armando Allen.
Raji.
And remember, Brad, there is no horse collar by a running back in the tackle box.
Raji made the Pro Bowl last year, the first defensive tackle for Green Bay to do so since Bob Brown in 1972.
Really?
Really. Wow. 3rd and 6.
Uh-oh.
Flags down.
Wow.
False start, 87, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Kellen Davis still 3rd down, but now 3rd down in a bunch.
How can your tight end do that?
He's asking himself that right now.
And 3rd and 6 versus 3rd and 11. Again, I keep talking about how this team is imploding.
This is the 4th time that the Bears have had 3rd and 10 or longer.
All right, Packers have their dime package in the game.
Cutler on 3rd and 11, in trouble again. Trying to find somebody open and throws an interception. And it's Charles Woodson's 55th of his career.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I give Woodson a ton of credit, but Earl Bennett has got to work back to the football. I saw that coming the whole way. If Bennett works back to the football, it's a completion instead of an interception. 13-3, Green Bay.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. Vote for the Never Say Never moment of the week at NFL.com/GMC. Charles Woodson with the interception gives it back to Green Bay. His 55th career interception, and here's another look.
Yeah, and again, these guys are college teammates, Cutler and Bennett. Bennett's a 5th-year receiver. He's got to know better than this. Right in the middle of the field. Look at him here, and here's Woodson. Plenty of room, but you have got to come back to the football. You can't wait for it. Look at him, he's going 1 yard the other way, and then after that, Cutler gets cleaned up by Walden, and that's not on Cutler.
And a guy that's always been around the football, number 21, and don't you think 15 years right now and playing safety instead of corner, that when he's done 5 years later, he'll have a bust in Canton to go along with his Heisman Trophy?
Yeah, you and I are going to be doing the Hall of Fame game the next night. Congratulating him on his career. I mean, he's a special player, and he's always had a knack for creating takeaways, but that throw is not on Cutler.
Those 26 interceptions you saw or since 2008.
Now, he's lost a step, and I've watched a bunch of his tape, but he still has a knack for stripping the football and creating interceptions also. Look at those numbers. I like this one. 8 Pro Bowls, 50. I mean, when you look at those kind of numbers, it just screams Hall of Fame.
We talked to him in the cafeteria yesterday after Packers practice. Big smile on his face then. Couldn't wait to get this Thursday night game going at Lambeau Field, where Green Bay wanted to get the taste of their opening season loss to San Francisco out of their mouth. And so far, they're on their way. Tonight's aerial coverage presented by Southwest Airlines.
After review, after the interception, Green Bay's player was down by contact at the 47-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Reset the clock to 3:11. The ball will be on the 47-yard line.
All right, they had the wrong 47-yard line, so that's what the review was about, to get it straightened out. And again, the crowd a little bit frustrated by the time it took to get that. And Urlacher and Rodgers, they're saying, you know what, in the offseason, let's go golfing. But meantime, didn't we know where that one should have been spotted? Aerial coverage presented by Southwest Airlines as you look in on Lambeau Field. And a 1st and 10 for the Packers, who lead.
Touchdown. Bennett doesn't come back to the ball. Woodson picks it off. I mean, as good as Chicago looked for 3.5 quarters a week ago, they're really struggling tonight.
Came in with all the confidence and swagger in the world, but right now it's not doing them any good. Crabtree, the guy that caught the touchdown pass on the fake field goal, in the backfield with Rodgers. He throws down the middle to Jordy Nelson, and it's a 1st down. Pick up a 15.
Really good play action fake by Rodgers as the back comes across. Watch the linebackers get frozen. They see the fake, they feel the fake. Now you're going to get right in behind them. Bang, nice throw. That's like stealing for a veteran like Aaron Rodgers. Yep. Really good play fake.
He spotted at the 38-yard line with a 1st down. Down at 2:40.
You notice Green Bay's in the huddle now, Brad.
Taking their time.
Exactly. No reason to hurry up.
Got a 10-point lead. Might as well milk it a little bit. After contact, Cedric Benson busts it out for another 1st down run. Hit in the backfield, looked like it was going to be a loss, Mike. And second effort and some fancy footwork for Cedric Benson.
Yeah, I think it was Corey Wooten, but I'm not sure. Crabtree has the block on him. And watch, I like the hesitation here. He's going to get hit, hesitates, gets back up in the hole, and forces Chris Conte to make the tackle.
Benson, his 8th year out of Texas. 60 yards tonight. Here he is again. And again weaving his way inside the 25 to the 24. They help him up as offensive lineman. NFL Game Rewind's free trial. You can get access to coaches' film and full replays of every Week 2 game on demand in HD. Try it for free at NFL.com/Game Rewind.
Wait a minute. How are people getting coaches' film?
With Game Rewind.
I fought to get that for like 10 years, and now it's out there?
It's out there, man.
Are you kidding me?
Free trial just for you, buddy.
Are you kidding me? That's pretty cool.
Green Bay 2nd and 6. They fake the draw. Rodgers loads and goes to the end zone. James Jones couldn't hold it. It was a little bit high, but they took a shot.
I loved everything Aaron Rodgers just did. Why? Because A, the play fake. B, he held the safety on the inside route. And then C, he comes down to Jones at the end of it. I mean, he did everything right, and Jones has got to catch the football.
got his body contorted a little bit in the wrong direction, or he probably would have made the catch. Now it's 3rd and 6. In field goal range, the Packers. Rodgers steps away from the pressure, gets it to Finley, dropped the ball. Bears have got it. Tillman with a fumble recovery.
I think that's a catch. I mean, this is a little pivot route by the tight end Finley. He's run that was a punch by Tillman. Watch Tillman's right fist punch the football. Watch the right fist. Bang! That's on purpose. That's beautiful. A veteran quarter forcing a turnover in a big play, and to me, there's no doubt that's a reception.
Not only a forced fumble, but the fumble recovery as well. Great play by number 33.
Wow.
And Chicago's got new life.
That's a pretty cool play there, Mr. Tillman.
Guy that had a shin injury and didn't really practice until yesterday. And he just came up with a defensive gem for the Bears.
Yeah, it's hard to figure, and all turnovers are being reviewed in the booth this year in the NFL, but it's hard to figure. In the old days, they just kind of taught you to make tackles in the open field. Now everything's about stripping and punching and ripping, and to be able to do that one-on-one with no help is really an art.
The Bears now have told us officially that Matt Forte is done for the night. Alex actually pretty much cleared out for us the last time they had the ball, but that'll mean Michael Bush is going to have to carry the load if it's on the ground for Chicago. It is right here, and he goes for almost 4 yards. And we're less than a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter.
And Morgan Burnett, the safety, did a nice job inserting himself as the 8th man in the box late, made the tackle for about a 4-yard gain.
Mike, you talked about Jay Cutler at Lambeau Field. This is his 3rd game, and the struggle continues.
Yeah. To be quite honest, he hasn't had a whole lot of help between the pressure and the drops tonight.
That's true. 2nd and 6 here. Armando Allen flushes out as a wide receiver, so it's an empty backfield. Cutler had it tipped.
Yep.
Tried to get it to his tight end. B.J. Raji, I think, is the guy that got a paw on the way.
Yeah, they brought 2 guys through the same gap, and Raji's had a really good football game. Raji's here, and you're going to see DJ Smith come here, and obviously the tackle's got to be concerned out wide. So nice job from a scheme perspective, bringing 2 through the same hole, and Raji's so darn powerful at 337 listed pounds.
That's before breakfast. 3rd and 6, and now the fans at Lambeau come to life on what might be the last play of the quarter. Cutler over the middle, and that one's dropped as well by Devin Hester.
Brad, if I was doing a cut-up on this game, in other words, putting together key plays, it would be all about the Bears' implosion. I mean, they just have not helped themselves on either side of the football tonight by making dumb plays.
That guy still without a catch. And his quarterback has been knocked around and frustrated all night long. Eilish kick. Randall Cobb fields it at the 27. Got across the 40 before he's run out of bounds. So good field position after the punt return by Cobb of 15 yards. And that brings quarter number 3 to a close. Still a 10-point game at Lambeau. Packers in front of the Bears. Clay Matthews, B.J. Raji having a word. Don Capers' defense has stifled Chicago tonight, holding them to a field goal. The Packers 15 minutes away from evening their record at 1-1. So desperate to do so and not to fall 2 games behind Chicago. And it's almost like a 3-game swing because they've already lost to the 49ers in the conference.
Right.
You don't want to lose to a division foe.
Correct.
You find yourself in a hole. Right now they're 15 minutes away from having that be just a nasty memory. Packers again tonight playing without their top wide receiver in Greg Jennings, or at least one of their top receivers, I should say. Jordy Nelson is their top receiver as far as number of catches and yards last year. There's Greg. A groin injury kept him out of the game, so they have they've been able to do without him so far. And now they'll have a long break if they get this win. That's what people like about Thursday night games. If you win them, they're great. You get a long break before the next game.
Yeah, it's like an extra bye weekend for you.
Rodgers comes up throwing, complete to D.J. Williams. And Williams, first down at the 45.
You know, Brad, I give Tom Clements and Mike McCarthy a ton of credit for making Cedric Benson comfortable tonight. After 9 for 18, right now he's over 100 total yards. In the run game, he's got 16 carries for 70. In the pass game, 4 for 35. So the guy's had 20 touches for 105 yards. And again, he's dotting the I where he's most comfortable.
Green 18.
They fake it to him, and Rodgers throws a dart that's caught by Jermichael Finley. A diving catch by the tight end in front of Tim Jennings.
And that's a good throw because you've got an inside leveraged corner. So people wonder why you make them dive for it to the outside. It's because you don't want Tim Jennings sneaking in and picking it and going the other way. Good throw.
Jermichael Finley, who's been a thorn in the Bears side. Lovie Smith told us last night, we got to keep him quiet. He likes to yak out there on the field. He's put up big numbers last year. 10 of his catches against the Bears, 4 of them were touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a mismatch in motion right now on a safety.
Good.
This time they go to James Jones. And right now for Aaron Rodgers, it's pitch and catch and keep the clock going.
Yeah, and a lot of their short game right now. And he'll go short. He'll go run game. But the minute he sees single high safety and an opportunity to get deep, he will. You know, their offensive coordinator, Tom Clements, remember him as a Notre Dame player, played 12 years in the CFL, was elevated when Philbin took the job in Miami. I think is very quietly doing a great job tonight.
They give it to Kuhn, the fullback. He didn't get it. Middle of the line stops him. And Green Bay on 3rd and 1 tonight. They're only 1 out of 4. Briggs and Urlacher and the gang stopped Kuhn short of the first down.
Yeah, Briggs got some space because the space eaters up front did their job. These guys pushed the pocket and allowed Briggs in. Made the hit behind the line of scrimmage. Short yardage and goal line is all about interior penetration, and that's what happened there.
This is going to be a long field goal attempt by Mason Crosby. About 54 yards. He's hit a few of those, a lot of those, in fact, in his career.
He was 2 for 3 over 50 a year ago.
The kick on the way, and it's got plenty. Wow. Crosby adds 3 more from 54. Might that be enough the way Chicago's struggling on offense? Still a 2-possession football game, but the Bears desperately need some offense now as Crosby hits from long range. Packers 16-3. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Miller Lights. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by End of Watch in theaters September 21st. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan at Lambeau Field. Brandon Marshall, they've thrown 1 pass his way tonight, Mike, and it's been a frustrating night between he and Jay Cutler.
Yeah, Tramon Williams in a trail technique, Burnett over top. There's been a safety over top. Again, he can trail because he's got Burnett coming over the top, and the one time they get a safety in the middle of the field, Tramon Williams falls, the safety can't get over top, and he drops the touchdown catch.
You know, they were so excited to be reunited last week. 9 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown. In Denver, that stretch they had there, only Peyton Manning to Reggie Wayne put up bigger numbers than those 2 guys together. Tonight it hasn't worked. This is a live ball here at the 7-yard line. Devin Hester cuts back to the near side, looking for the sideline. Didn't have enough room to work. So 13 points down with 11:37 to go. Next Thursday night should be fun in Charlotte. Eli Manning and the Super Bowl champion Giants traveling to Charlotte. They'll take on the Rookie of the Year last year, Cam Newton, and the Carolina Panthers. Giants-Panthers from Charlotte next Thursday night, 8 Eastern, only on NFL Network.
You know, Ness, Victor Cruz, a couple drops in that big game against Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see whether he comes back out of that with a vengeance, or people are saying how he did too much in the offseason, too many commercials, too many endorsements. Need to see him come back and have a big game next week.
Jay Cutler's missed his last 5 passes. He's going to have to pass now if they give him time. He lets fly deep for Marshall. Tipped, intercepted by Tramon Williams. His second of the night. Coming the other way. And Williams out of bounds. Deep in Bear territory.
Really poor throw here. And I like the concept of what they were trying to do. Down here, he's going to take the safety inside and then break back outside deep. Now break out. He got the safety turned around. The corner was still under him, and Cutler didn't get enough air, and he didn't get it far enough outside. And like most of the night, after he lets go, he's going to take a shot from A.J. Hawk. Tramon Williams, and Brad, you said earlier in the night that in their Super Bowl year, he was one of the best corners in all of football. He was. Where did he disappear to a year ago? He had a pinched nerve. He struggled through it, did not play as well, but they're hoping they get the Tramon Williams of 2010 back this year.
Looks like they have him so far. Aaron Rodgers, pump fakes, going for the kill shot. Touchdown. And it's Donald Driver, the old man. And he's going to drive right in to the Lambeau Leap crowd.
That is so beautiful by Aaron Rodgers. I can't even tell you from an eye discipline perspective. You want to talk about looking off a safety with your eyes and your shoulders. Okay, here's the safety he wants to beat. Everything he does says, I'm coming left. Shoulders, now back. Safety's already opened his hips that way. You come back to the middle of the field. That's all about Aaron Rodgers.
The last time Donald Driver, he only had 3 plays last week. The last time he was in the spotlight was Dancing with the Stars. Now he's dancing with the fans in the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Crosby's point after. That might have been the kill shot of the night. 23-3. You love to see a guy that's been around this long still have the hops. Aaron Rodgers to Donald Driver, 26 yards for the touchdown. And a 20-point Green Bay lead with 11:17 remaining. The 60th touchdown catch of Donald Driver's career. He's number 1 in receptions and yardage in Green Bay Packer history. Just added his 60th touchdown. It took 2 big plays to turn this into a 20-point game, Mike.
Yeah, and the first one is Cutler underthrowing the double coverage to Brandon Marshall. Interception by Tramon Williams. Now, if you know Aaron Rodgers, you know there's a pretty good shot that he's going to try and beat you on the next snap, which he does. Fakes it to Jordy Nelson all the way in the corner of the end zone, finds Donald Driver right down the seam. And Aaron Rodgers, that was beautiful. That was a veteran quarterback manipulating a safety for a
Unnecessary
touchdown.
roughness, 54 Green Bay. The penalty is 15 yards from the 20-yard line, first down.
Desmond Moses, a rookie linebacker, with the penalty. And so that gives Chicago some decent field position.
Yep. Undrafted free agent out of Tulane.
Donald Driver is going to take a look at the play here.
There he is. Fighting. It gets a little frustrating fighting through a double team, and at the end of it he said, I'm just going to tackle him.
Kevin Green, the outside linebacker coach, coaching him up on the sideline after that play. Jay Cutler has got to throw it now, and he may not get a chance. Buys himself some time, and he runs with it and slides for a first down.
And that's fine. 11 minutes left in this football game. Don't panic. You throw another interception, this thing could be over. There's a little jawing going on down there right now. What a surprise.
Tough night for Jay.
You know, we showed his numbers at Lambeau at the top of the show in 2 previous appearances. And unfortunately for the Bears, the trend continues.
Regardless of score.
Bush, a couple yards. Time is of the essence now for Chicago.
Yeah, I think you want to hurry up a little bit. Obviously, you can still run the football with 11 minutes left, but you got to hurry here with the score down 20, folks. You can't be sitting there. You got to get over the ball and call some plays. Let's go. Marshall's at the point of a tight bunch. We haven't heard from Alshon Jeffrey, I don't believe, all night long.
He's got one catch. He just went in motion and set up on the right-hand side. Pressure coming again. Pass complete to Bennett.
Oh, at the end of it, Woodson and Cutler. Woodson came at Cutler's feet at the end. Cutler didn't like it and kind of kicked him a little bit. There comes Woodson, watch. Late on his knees. Quarterbacks hate that. He pushes him with his left foot. Woodson doesn't like that. Now you got two all-pros having a conversation, and it's not about Hawaii.
Not about the Pro Bowl.
It is not about the Pro Bowl.
Well, that guy's been to a bunch of them.
He's still chirping, too.
In Packer territory at the 40. Cutler in trouble again. Fires deep middle. And someone may have gotten a hand on that, or somebody hit Cutler as he let go of it. It didn't have much on it.
Yeah, there was a little contact down the field, too, which wasn't called, and justifiably so. Cutler's trying to make that throw flat-footed, and I think there was A.J. Hawk got a little piece of it, by the way.
Jay told us earlier this week, if we see what we think we're going to see from the Green Bay defense, nobody can contain us on the outside.
Well, they didn't get what they thought. They got two high safeties and weren't able to run the ball.
And they're going to get him again. Nope, he got away. Nifty sidestep and almost threw another interception, though. DJ Smith, a diving attempt there on a pass intended to Kellen Davis. They'll give Jay credit for hopping around in that pocket and not getting sacked.
You know what? Cutler's got great feet, and I give him credit for making people miss. But you're going to see Alshon Jeffrey all by himself. Now, there's the miss. Great job. Now, keep your eyes open, because look what happens. You look down the field. The safety's up here. There's nobody in the end zone. That's a quick 6 if he could just keep his eyes down all the way down the field. But Brad, that's pretty athletic, right? He's a little busy right there trying to get by everybody.
It was a holding call on Chicago, so it backs the line of scrimmage to midfield. Second down and 20.
See if Green Bay dials up a little pressure on this side. Nope.
Cutler, again the pocket collapsing, and again he goes down. Mike Daniels, the rookie out of Iowa. 4th sack of the night, and again it's getting chippy at the end of every play now.
Yeah, Woodson. Earl Bennett. You know, we really thought they kind of took care of his protection issues. Been hit 11 times, hurried 18, 7 knockdowns and 4 sacks. That's a little bit like last year when I thought he had the worst pass protection in the league prior to getting hurt.
They gave up 49 sacks last year. And now Jay hops through the traffic and throws downfield, and it's almost intercepted by Woodson off the tip from Davis. Davis was slipping down there and almost made the catch on the ground. And again, some of the best moves of the night for Jay Cutler just to get out of the traffic in that pocket.
And Brad, that was a 3-man rush. And Kellen Davis should have caught the ball, but his feet slipped out from under him. You know, so the Bears have had some opportunities. They just, as I've said 5 times tonight, they've imploded.
Fair catch by Randall Cobb near the 15-yard line. And a penalty marker down at the end of that play. Cedric Benson's had a good night. It's been tougher for Jay Cutler, especially with 3 interceptions. And he has a seat over on the sideline. There was a flag on the end of the play, and as we said, almost every play now has ended with one player or another shoving somebody else.
Rodgers gave you the call there. Don't even need the replacement officials in this particular one.
We will let Gerald Wright tell us, though, because Gerald's got the microphone on.
I trust Aaron. I mean, he's a pretty good football guy.
Here's a call.
Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from spot. First down.
So they'll walk off 15, and we'll take a quick break here with 8:14 remaining. In 185 meetings, there have been some pretty good football players and pretty good quarterbacks for the Packers. Bart Starr, Brett Favre, both Super Bowl winners, as was Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago. And in the long stretch for the Packers, they haven't had to have too many quarterbacks. The Bears have. And with that last touchdown pass for Aaron Rodgers, he's joining great company. Johnny Unitas and Dan Marino, as consecutive home games with a touchdown pass has reached 31. Second half tonight, Aaron is 7 out of 8, and he's hit his last 5.
Chicago's got to be aggressive now defensively.
Play action. Rodgers fires, and this one's intercepted. And it's Tim Jennings. Jennings, who had a couple last week, has got another one tonight.
Boy, did he do a great job reading this route, and he fooled Aaron Rodgers, which almost always never happens. I think Rodgers wanted Jones to come back inside. Now he's going to hang outside. Watch him. He doesn't follow him in, and now he jumps the route. Did you see what Jones did?
Yep.
He did not come back to the football, and that's why Aaron Rodgers threw it. He trusted his receiver, and he's upset justifiably. Come back, don't. He broke the route, and you can't break the route at that juncture.
Had only 6 interceptions all of last year. Has got a couple already through 2 games. Tim Jennings has given, I guess, a little bit of hope to Chicago. They can take advantage. Still 8 minutes to go.
That's his 3rd interception in 2 games, and I think the kid's been feisty, and I think he's played extremely well tonight.
Cutler again in the pocket. Down he goes again. Clay Matthews has got his 3rd of the night. Here comes the muscle. Maybe not. Nope.
I
Just
think
another routine play.
you hit two. You know, this is all about coverage. The safety's over the top. You can see Woodson driving, and then the other way. This is where Cutler wanted to go, was to Hester, to the left of the screen. It wasn't there, and because Clay Matthews is so relentless, partner, 2.5 sacks a week ago, 3 tonight.
5.5 in 2 games. He only had 6 all of last year.
The entire last year, exactly.
He has switched to that right side again. He looks pretty comfortable there. He'll be coming again. Cutler throws complete, and finally, Brandon Marshall has a catch.
And that's what it's supposed to look like. And by the way, it's pretty good coverage by Woodson. Woodson trying to undercut it. Good concentration. Think he dragged that left foot.
It was a pickup of 10, but remember, because of the sack, it's still 3rd down and long.
Right.
I would think 2 down territory if you're the Bears.
Gotta be.
With 7 minutes and change. Empty backfield. Cutler in the gun.
Here they come.
And under the gun. Lobs it to the corner. Incomplete. In the end zone was Marshall.
And Brandon Marshall has got to be more aware that Cutler's got an empty backfield and he's got heavy pressure. He's got to get his head on a swivel and turned around more quickly than that. Marshall's the inside receiver working against a safety. This is an advantageous matchup. And there's a ton of pressure on the quarter. There's a hold by the left tackle. Matthews demanding it.
This might be the last time the Bears touch it if they don't get 7 yards.
Huge play.
4th and 7. Cutler to the end zone. Got him. Touchdown. Kellen Davis, the tight end. On a 4th and 7, a 21-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, I call this a stick nod route. The tight end's going to make a little inside break on the linebacker and then run the linebacker right up the chute. Cutler throws it beautifully over the head of DJ Smith.
Talk about having to have one and coming up with it on 4th and long.
And you could put that on Donald Driver. There's the stick right there. Over past DJ Jones. Beautifully thrown football. Touchdown.
Robbie Gould for the point after. Is good. 2-possession game with 6:49. First, The route that was broken off, an angry quarterback, and then a desperate quarterback to his tight end for the touchdown. 23-10. Tomorrow on NFL Total Access, Carolina's Steve Smith joins us on Panthers Cam and sounds off on their huge matchup with the Saints. And of course, we'll have reports from all the big Sunday games. NFL Total Access tomorrow at 7 Eastern, only on NFL Network. Goal to kick. And it won't be returned. Packers come out to the 20-yard line. Aaron Rodgers, last time he threw a pass, he couldn't have been hotter at his receiver.
Yeah, frustrated because watch him break the route. Comes in, pivots to the outside. Now you can't all of a sudden decide you're going to go deep and allow that corner to just step inside you. The reaction, yeah, run the route. Run the route. Cutler upset earlier because Bennett didn't come back to the football and a Woodson interception, and that time justifiably Rodgers upset.
Tim Jennings, 3 interceptions on this young season already. That last one has at least given the Bears hope with 6:49 to play. Benson, the tailback, in the eye where he's been comfortable tonight and has been effective, and he'll follow his fullback. Going to lose yardage though, loss of a yard.
Major difference in the run game. We touched on that at the top of the show, Brad. You know, Let's not panic if you're a Green Bay fan. 9 carries for 18, but it's a new tailback trying to get in tune with his line. So I think what you're starting to see is this Packer offense morphing into what it may become this year.
Green Bay's got 100 yards on the ground tonight.
And Brad, they were number 27 in the league in rushing last year. They don't need to be great in rushing because they throw so well, but they have to be efficient.
Green 18.
Play action. Rodgers comes up throwing incomplete. That'll stop the clock. Jordy Nelson, the intended receiver.
Yeah, he threw it to the correct receiver because he threw away from the secondary rotation of the Bears. Just a bad throw. Brad, they get a quick punt here.
Yeah. Chicago has 2 timeouts remaining. They used one earlier in the half.
So this is a big 3rd and 11 situation here. Be interesting to see if they bring pressure to try to get the ball out quickly.
Safe to say it's the biggest 3rd down of the ball game for the Bears defense.
This is a safety down here on Jermichael Finley. That's a matchup issue for Chicago.
3rd and 11. Rodgers and Jordy Nelson on a crossing pattern. Big yardage. First down. Stays in bounds wisely.
Good call, partner.
26-yard pickup. And he dumps it at the 45-yard line. Says, I got enough. I'm not going out of bounds.
Yeah, this is cover 1. A free safety here, man down here. Jordy Nelson's just going to run a little simple cross route. Gets the protection, puts it on him. And like you said alertly, Brad, stays in bounds at the end of the play.
That's smart football there.
Yeah, you know, again, this kid is 6'3", 217 pounds, faster than you think, and averaged 19 yards a catch a year ago.
Now the give. Benson, he won't get any yardage, but again, the clock's going to wind its way under the 5-minute mark. When we talked to Cedric Benson yesterday, he quietly said, we said, do you look forward to playing Chicago? Because he was an overall number 4 pick in 2005 of the Bears. He said, yeah, I always like to have a little something for him. Well, he's had a little something for him tonight.
I like what he said about the 9 carries. He was like, man, not only did I only get 9 carries, but there were 9 different runs.
Right.
And he
never
said,
repeated the same play.
Yeah, he's like, I just got here and I didn't get the same one twice. He said, you got to grease me up a little bit. I got to get a lot of touches.
He got 18 touches out of the backfield in the ground game. He's been part of the pass game as well. He gets a breather. Briggs is all over Alex Green.
Yeah, I think Alex Green is somebody Green Bay would love to develop. When he came out of Hawaii, I thought he was one of the better pass-catching running backs in the entire draft, and he's 225 pounds, catches the ball and can pass protect. So I think he could be the future. They just need him to come along a little more quickly.
Can you imagine the culture shock coming from wearing flip-flops all the time to come to Green Bay, Wisconsin from Hawaii?
This is a pretty cool night now.
I
don't care what anybody says. Look at that. Are you kidding me? It does not get a whole lot better than Lambeau Field in a primetime NFL game.
Well, we have prime time, but we've got NFL AM coming up tomorrow morning. Only morning show dedicated to the NFL. Tomorrow we'll have complete wrap-up of our game tonight, including highlights and interviews with all the key players and coaches. And we'll also have reports with the latest news from the big Sunday matchups. NFL AM, Monday through Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, only on NFL Network. There's Rich and Coach Mooch and Marshall. They'll be along when the game is over. And you can see there is a hint of fall in the air. It's more of a hint. It's more like a blast. It was about 85 degrees in Green Bay yesterday, and it's probably 55 right now.
Stay tuned for that post-game show because they do a great job with the stars of the game.
Aaron Rodgers, another big third down if Chicago can get a stop here. Rodgers pump fakes, and now takes off, stiff-armed, and down he goes. Run down from behind by Shea McClellin.
Yeah, it's two pretty good athletes there. Melton and McClellan both can run. Rodgers is not going to run away from those two guys.
Did you notice who picked up Aaron Rodgers? Brian Urlacher says, come on, man, I'll give you a hand. A little bit of respect between those two, huh?
You know what's amazing to me? Aaron Rodgers has been in this league 8 years, Brad, and he's only 28 years old.
Yeah.
McClellan does a nice job rolling out. Here comes Melton from the inside out, the tackle, and then the old man comes over, right, Ness? Here you go.
Brian says,
oh,
hey, man, not a bad run. Come on, a little help.
You know, it's always neat to see the respect among guys, especially guys that have been to multiple Pro Bowls together and get to know each other and their families.
Yep.
And, you know, they knock the tar out of each other, yet love to pick them up when they need some help.
Well, they did force the punt now. Mastay set to kick. Devin Hester, remember, you got Devin Hester on the other end.
Yep.
If he gets a clean shot, he could change the game here with 4:19 remaining. He's going to take a crack at it from the 17. Boy, nice coverage, though.
That's Robert.
By Green Bay.
Yeah, Robert Francois. And look at all this talking going on. How much frustration, Brad, are we seeing from the Bears right now? Huh?
A lot, yep. Well, Jay Cutler coming back out, but more than anything, he's been hurried, sacked, knocked around, and intercepted.
Yeah, 10 for 25 on the day. The interceptions, that was a bad throw. Inaccurate behind his receiver. This one is the one that was Earl Bennett. That should have been a completion and an opportunity to score. And then the underthrown post corner. That's a throwback post corner that takes a huge arm, and Jay just underthrew it.
Tramon Williams, 2 of those interceptions. Charles Woodson's got the other.
The Lambeau curse continues for Mr. Cutler.
Yep. And Chicago is out of timeouts with 4:09 to go. Everything from here on is passing and hurrying. And not this kind of thing. That's just exactly what they don't need. Jarrell Worthy and Clay Matthews. 6th sack of the night of Jay Cutler.
Interesting what they're doing to slow down Clay Matthews now. He's over here. You're going to get a tight end, and watch what happens. You're going to get a double on him with the back. What does that give you? One-on-one inside. Who can win? Here he comes up the middle, the cross, both B.J. Raji and Jarrell Worthy. And I've been saying all week long that somebody else outside of Clay Matthews has got to step up in that front and be able to win one-on-one.
B.J. Raji shaking up on the field. We'll check on him when we come back. A week from tonight, don't forget Eli Manning and the Super Bowl champion Giants travel to Charlotte to look at Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Giants and Panthers next Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, only here on NFL Network. Don't forget when the game's over, Rich, Dion, Marshall, Steve, and Michael will be live on the field breaking down the action, complete with highlights and player interviews. Make sure you keep it right here. McDonald's postgame show. Rich and the guys, about 4 minutes of clock time from now. Second down at 14. Cutler again pressured and again goes down. Wow. 7th sack of the night. Clay Matthews has got him again. And I think Clay Matthews might be the NFC Defensive Player of the Week unless somebody has one better than he's had tonight.
Overload blitz here, Brad. 3 on this side. Watch DJ Smith come through, and it's just a stunt. Smith pushes him up and really should get the credit for that because Clay Matthews just cleans up the refuse.
3.5 sacks for Matthews tonight. Flags are down
everywhere.
I wouldn't be shocked if Matthews got partial credit for that Worthy sack too. He might have 4 by the time it's all over when they look at this thing officially when the game's over.
12 men on defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Previous spot, first down.
You know, Brad, if there are 2 guys I think have had a great
Not a
start
first down.
defensively on the NFL season on these teams, I think it's the guy you
Previous
just identified,
spot, replay third down.
Clay Matthews, and I think Tim Jennings from Chicago has played extremely well. Last week
Exactly.
I thought he was they gave him a game ball last week, and I thought he played tremendously well, and again tonight.
Clay Matthews said to us, is it a must-win game? I don't know about that, but we don't ever expect to lose.
And I think it'll calm people down here in Green Bay that
Yes.
we're really nervous about 2 consecutive home losses and all the rest of that.
Cutler waits, throws to Marshall, across the 20.
Get out of bounds.
Finally did, but he's short of the first down.
Yeah.
It is a 14-yard pickup, though. Woodson back in there around Jay Cutler again.
Woodson's been kind of chippy here in the second half. 35 years old.
And 55 career interceptions with the one he had tonight.
4th down. Gotta go. Gotta go.
I wouldn't want to be blocking number 52.
Look at him. They're moving him around. He's coming from linebacker.
And that ball is intercepted again. This one's Jerome McMillan.
Why did they call it down? Let's see if he was out of bounds or touched. Bounce, bounce, bounce.
Yep. Maybe it did hit the ground.
I don't know if he had that.
Yep.
Doesn't matter because it was 4th down. Either
Exactly.
way, it's going to be Green Bay possession.
Right. Made a great play on the ball, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's not a catch. That is not a catch. But again, it's just a matter where they mark it. They're actually better
After the
off.
interception,
They're better
runner was
off.
down by contact.
Right.
If it's
First
not an
down.
interception, because then they'll get it at the line of scrimmage.
Now they're going to say down by contact, so
Yeah,
they
they
are going to
said
give
that.
them the interception.
And I think that's going to get overturned because it's a turnover and it'll be looked at up here. But my point is, if it is overturned, it'll go back to the line of scrimmage. That ball's thrown late. And it's been a brutal night for this Chicago offense.
3 minutes remaining. Green Bay can chew up most of the clock because Chicago doesn't have any way to stop it except the 2-minute warning. So first down at the 30.
McMillan, by the way, another one of those rookies we've talked about, a 4th-round pick out of Division I AA Maine. I told you they're going to look at this thing.
Apparently they're going to let it go.
I don't know. What?
Mike McCarthy sort of looked at the official and said, let's play ball. I don't care if it's an interception or not. Just give it back to us.
Either way, it's our ball.
Yeah. So it's at the 30-yard line. And now it's Cedric Benson time. And he almost snapped into the secondary. Clay Matthews, you think he had a pretty good night? I'd say so.
Talked about all week. What does he do best? He wins one-on-one. He's relentless. He's going to beat most left tackles. Jamarcus Webb, a little bit of a mismatch on him today. Even when he's blocked, he continues. He's like the Energizer Bunny. Gets a sack late here because DJ Smith forces him back in the pocket. And I think we should also give some credit on top of him. Some of his young teammates need to start playing. Like we saw Daniels from Iowa. We saw Jarrell Worthy play well as defensive tackles in the pass game tonight.
Cedric Benson behind his fullback Kuhn. Blasts his way inside the 20 with a first down. And the clock will work its way to the 2-minute warning. Aaron Rodgers letting his linemen know that they're doing the job right now as we work our way to 2 minutes remaining. Big smile Not so much for the other quarterback. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers en route to their first win of the year. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram, and by T-Mobile. Test drive our nationwide 4G network. Let's check in with Rich Eisen. Rich.
Well, we're getting ready for the post-game show. Star of the game and highlights and analysis. I'm just glad I got through this without Clay Matthews sacking me. He's sort of on a roll tonight.
And you see Rich has added the sweater because it has cooled off a little bit here at Lambeau Field.
Well, Rich used to be kind of a Northeastern guy, but I think he's got the thin blood out in L.A. now.
Yep.
You know?
All the Bears have to do is take a couple of knees. They'll go to 1-1. The folks that were panicking since Sunday when the Packers lost to the 49ers can take a sigh of relief. They've got a long break now because they don't play until the 24th at Seattle.
Monday night.
And then a big one against the Saints, Indy, Houston, and St. Louis to follow. And for Chicago, they've got St. Louis next, then the Cowboys, Jacksonville, their bye week, Detroit and Carolina. Those are the next 5 for the Bears.
And there's no reason for either of these teams to panic. Last week it was Green Bay panic. Chicago coming off a big week. This week Green Bay stabilizes the ship and Chicago's realizing maybe we're not as good as we thought we were.
Right.
But you're never as good as you think you are or as bad.
Of course, the Packers defense much maligned a year ago, and especially in the loss to the 49ers, have allowed only 168 yards to the Bears tonight. Wow. 4 turnovers, 4 interceptions. They sacked Jay Cutler 7 times. And now all Aaron Rodgers has to do is take another knee, and this one's going to be in the books. And Donald Driver, his 60th touchdown catch as a Packer, kind of broke this thing open after a turnover. It was the kill shot from Aaron Rodgers, 26 yards to the old man Donald Driver, who did the Lambeau leap. And that was just about the end of it. Both teams now in the NFC North, they're 1-1. Clay Matthews, a huge night. Rich said at least he didn't get sacked by Matthews. He will join the guys on the set, though, and talk to them. So I'd say to all you guys, watch out.
Watch out,
you could go down there in the backfield. So Green Bay rebounds in fine fashion against their oldest rival. And they win it at home to snap a 2-game Lambeau losing streak. 23-10 is the final. One quarterback had a good night and one had a very, very tough night. Don't forget, coming up, McDonald's post-game show. Clay Matthews will join the guys. All the highlights and analysis here from Lambeau Field. Packers are 1-1. The Bears fall to 1-1. Final score: the Packers 23, the Bears 10 on our first Thursday night game of the season.